Okay. Oh, all right. So 30's perspective, we're doing this was like what episode like 23. All right. But tonight, we got Sherelle Unique and we got me, B Mike, and you know what? It's the day after election, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Because
Still don't know anything. That
it's
was
a
a lot of
30's perspective, so we were consciously aware of things in terms of election day. We had what? What was it? All right. So here's what we lived through. Here's where we're at, though. We're at George Bush when it was George Bush Senior, Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot, and we were there for the Bill Clinton thing, and we were there for uh, George Bush Senior and 9/11 that situation, and we did Barack Obama's, and now we're here.
We are here.
And
And we don't even know where here is.
we don't know what here is yet. That's where we're at, and we'll probably get to that. But honestly, like I've been on some other shit this week. Like, well, because I mean, Sherelle knows, and I've been keeping up with this for a while. I was on Yang Gang for a little bit, and I've been following politics. But I'm telling you, yesterday I was in a jokey mood. Like I was like, you know what? Everyone who's already, because people have been debating, they're upset. Everyone who's going to do whatever vote, not vote, whoever they were backing was going to happen anyways. So I've been on that situation. So like we can talk about it; it'll come up. But I kind of want to like talk about other things that are happening.
I feel you. I feel you.
All right, Sherelle, what you got? Because I got some stuff. What you got? What you got? What you got going on this week that has given you a little glimpse of excitement that is not, dealing with number 45 versus Biden?
Well, I am back to working on my music, which that always makes me excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. We've been doing some stuff, so I'm good.
Yeah, we've been collabing, for those who don't know, on the music scene, and we have some things we're working on that I'm excited about. And I've written a few songs recently that I'm excited about. And I have some plans for those songs as well. And so I'm happy to be back on the scene doing that. I have a gig
Yeah.
coming up December 26th with Will Maker, All Stars Band, which is a band that was actually my very first band I was ever in, probably like 10 years ago, something like that. But we're coming back, and we have a gig on the 26th of December. I'll come back with more information on that.
All right, so y'all hear that? Y'all about to come with your new Christmas outfits. Be there.
It's not really a Christmas gig, but it's a Christmas.
It's not. It's after Christmas. Anything after Christmas don't count.
Yeah.
So, but you got your Christmas outfits though. I know y'all got your new socks and underwear. So be there.
Be there or be square. So I'm excited about what I have going on as that goes.
You know where that phrase come from?
No.
Sorry. Okay, this is just me being a little geek, a history geek.
Where does it come from?
The phrase of be there or be square is if you're square, you're not around. So if you're not around, you're not there. Yeah.
You're clever.
Me? I wasn't. I didn't come up with this. That's just what it is. If you're not around, then you're square, and that's what that is about. But,
all right, I'm here for that.
All right.
What are you excited about this week?
That's not related to that. Okay, so since we're on the topic of music, there's two things that has excited me this week musically, and one, I'm gonna start with this one. AC/DC has a brand new music video out.
Is it dope?
I mean, it's their normal thing. Like, I don't want to say it's dope by 2020 standards. It's
Mhm.
super dope by 80s standards. So AC/DC was big late 70s and definitely into the 80s. But most of those videos were kind of the same. There was like their music videos with them on stage performing the song, but there was no audience because they were making a music video. And it's the kind of same way. But the fact that they are old as fuck, um, and they got a brand new music video, brand new song, to me that's awesome. I mean, they are old. They are old people. And they are doing this new music video, and they are a historic, iconic element of the 80s, and they made a new song out. So I was excited about that. I'm an AC/DC fan. That's cool. But in terms of new music,
Do you know?
huh?
What's
It's
the song?
hold on. I just watched it again. It is called.
I don't know why I'm so yawny. I just took the longest nap.
It's called "Shot in the Dark."
Shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. That's what it's called. And then in terms of new music, I don't know if you watched. Did you watch her when she was on Saturday Night Live this past week?
I did. I had
Yes, we did. We did. We watched that.
it for me.
We did. So that's something else I'm excited about. You saw it, and I was like, I gotta check out more of her. I know I'm a little late. I respected her, cool. Like she was doing an R&B thing, but like seeing it live, I was like, I gotta. And now I just want her, Janelle Monáe, and like Lizzo to like do something together.
I would take Lizzo out of that equation, but I'm with you.
Why would you take Lizzo out of the equation?
I like Lizzo's music. I don't like Lizzo, but I don't feel like Lizzo's music is on the same level as her and Janelle Monáe.
Okay. I get what you're saying. The reason why I say it's a little different is because Lizzo has changed her style of writing since her first couple albums. And she did that so that she could be where she's at now. So if you're inclined to watch the interview she has with David Letterman on Netflix, and she talks about learning to write less. And that is what gets pop together, because pop is simple. People like simple shit.
Yeah.
Right. So her older stuff.
Pop and their soul.
Yeah. See, but people
her older stuff is soul.
I got you. And I understand where she's coming at. And like the reason why I started listening to Lizzo like 3-4 years ago, before she hit the charts, before she got her 3 Grammys and all that stuff, is because she was doing more soulful stuff. She was doing stuff that was both soulful and gutter. It was like those two options. And I started listening to her back then before anyone knew who she was. And that's the Lizzo I want to do with Janelle and her. Like that Lizzo. Not the new Lizzo, but I understand why she's doing it though. She's doing it because she needs to be where she's at now. I got that. And I guarantee you, give it like a decade, she'll be back to that Lizzo, because that's her. Like, that's who she is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like who she is. I don't like her.
Now, is that because she's plus size positive?
I'm plus size. I shot at Lane Bryant, Torrid, Ashley Stewart, Femi in the plus size section.
So why don't you like? Is it the music or is something else?
No, I like her music. I don't like her personality.
What's wrong with the personality?
I think she's a little too thirsty. I don't like all of that. It's like, okay, we like you. Go sit down somewhere. She's doing like she to me is like an attention whore. I don't like all. It's too much for me.
Do you not feel that she has taken on a image conscious responsibility for plus size women?
No, I don't. I feel like there's a void she's trying to fill, and she's trying to mask it as confidence, but to me it looks like thirst and desperation for attention.
I think she was thrusted into that role. Um, like I want you to watch her interview and say whatever level man. I do want you to watch that, and I don't know
I'll
if it's
watch
going
it.
to
I may have
change
seen
anything.
it. I may have
It's
seen it. I'm not sure, but I'm like, that to me is not a sign of confidence. The stuff she does, the antics she does, is not to me a sign of confidence.
well, it may not be. It may not be a sign of confidence. She's been through a little bit. She's been through some stuff. It's
Mm.
not horrific. It's not ridiculously horrifically like but she's been through some stuff, and I overall I I see some flaws and some stuff, but overall I like the way she's providing a I want to say platform. I'm trying the right word for this because she's providing something for people to latch on to who are not supermodel size type of women.
Well, yeah, that's all good. No, I mean we're glad to see her be. I'm glad she's
Yeah,
one of the numbers, like in the
yeah,
number. I'm glad. I
right.
think she's talented. I think she's a very pretty girl. Um, and like I said, I like her music. I even sing her music.
There we go.
Yeah, so I perform some of her songs, but I don't like her, the person so far who I'm
But like
seeing.
without her right now, I don't think like did you watch Tabria Majors her do the Beyonce thing this week?
Mm-mm.
All right, so Tabria is a plus size model. Like you say you shop at Lane Bryant and stuff. I'm sure you've seen her somewhere
Probably.
because like that's what she did. Like that's what she does. And she's been gaining like some traction. Got her cute face and all that. Gained some traction. And like so what she did was she reenacted a bunch of Beyonce stuff. Like really well done. Like she really did. Like whoever sponsors it, whoever paid for it, really went out for it. She did all Beyonce stuff, but she's a plus size model, and she killed it. She did it. She did it. She did it right. It happened, and I want to say that even if she's part of that movement, like Lizzo kind of made sure that she couldn't be ignored for doing that. And even though people said a lot of shit, and even she shut down her Twitter and Instagram for a few days at a time sometimes because of the negative messages she was getting.
Negative.
Yeah, and but she would pop back up like I'm still doing this. And even with the exercise thing, man, she was up there exercising. People were like, "What you exercising for? I thought you were supposed to be big." She's like, "I'm exercising to be active and stay healthy, and I'm not trying to be the body size you want me to be. I'm trying to be the body size I want to be." So
Yeah, and that's annoying too. Like when somebody decides to lose some weight, now they gotta answer to you and answer all these questions, and you supposed to. It's just like shut up.
and then it's like, are you sick? Why are
Yeah,
you
like
getting
it's
skinny? You must
annoying.
be sick. Right.
But what was really annoying is if you don't like what she does, if you're not into her, people think it's automatically because she's a big girl and you wouldn't have a problem with it if it was a small girl doing it, or because she's plus size. And that really got on my nerves because I'm plus size too. I don't look as plus size as she is, but I'm still a size 16, 18. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, of course, I know. According to that BMI chart, that's bullshit. That BMI chart, we're all like morbidly obese and gonna die.
right, right. So
I hate that
I'm
chart.
like, when
So
people would say
stupid.
that to me, I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
that's not it.
No, not at all, man.
That's not it. I don't have to enjoy you twerking on the counter at Chick-fil-A.
Yes, you do.
I think it's gross.
All right, so when do you feel twerking is tasteful and well done?
I like to twerk, so let me make sure I'm clear on that.
All right, everybody, she likes to twerk.
I can dance and I can twerk and I like to twerk. So let me just make sure I place that out there. I
So
feel
where
like
is the artistic twerking happening?
I feel like it's appropriate when you are at a party, at a club, you're hanging with your friends, it's ladies' night, you're just doing it for fun, and I don't know what words how I want to word it, but
you know what? You don't think club Chick-fil-A?
Twerking should occur near food.
What?
Or at a restaurant. I don't think. I think twerking could also be in the privacy of your home if you want, with your man if you want. But I don't think you should be twerking at a basketball game, family-friendly event in the middle of with your butt cheeks out in front of a bunch of kids. I just think that's wrong. It's time and place for that. It's time and place for it. I don't want you twerking near my food at Chick-fil-A.
She wasn't like twerking on the grill, like.
It's booty essence. Let me tell you something.
What?
So I creep on my kids at work, right? I've been going like on their social media pages and stuff to see what the heck they're posting and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And one of my kids, she used to work at McDonald's. I went through her videos, right? She's sitting on the counter, fingering through her weave, going live. She has one glove on, and she's propping the camera up, serving the food with one glove. The other glove, she's fingering through her hair. She's passing food through the drive-through window. She's twerking every now and then. She goes back to the back to get a case of fries. And she has the one glove on, one glove off. She puts her hands on the water cooler thingies, what are they called? The
I don't know. I never worked in fast food. I don't know.
Yeah, she had her hands up on the thing, one glove on, one glove off, like in the camera in the back of McDonald's.
One, that's McDonald's. Two.
I don't care where it's at.
I do.
It's wrong.
Yeah, but that's because she's like the hair and the no glove, and not because there's not like twerking like shrapnel, like just ass juices flying off your butt onto the burger.
It's booty essence. In the
booty
air.
Essence.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel we should write a song now called Booty Essence. And that should be a thing.
Your booty essence.
Hey, we could do that. That could happen. Make that song called Booty Essence.
When you sit on a seat and it's warm already, after somebody gets up, that's booty essence.
I guess that qualifies as booty essence. All right.
Booty essence.
Yeah. All right. So no twerking in the Chick-fil-A's and McDonald's and freckle bitches. All right.
No, not around my food. Not on no food counters. Not at the grocery store. No.
No twerking and freckle bitches. Okay.
No, in public, no family-friendly public places. Not at church.
Before someone gets mad at me saying freckle bitches, that's a video game reference for Saints Row, where they couldn't use real logos and real names, and they made this Wendy's-looking fast food places and call it freckle bitches. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, but
Okay. Alright. So you like Lizzo's music, but not her as a person. I still want you to watch the interview. I don't know if I'm changing your mind. I appreciate the fact that she's a real musician. She does play the flute as well as other instruments. That's cool.
Excellent at writing songs.
That too.
The stuff I've heard so far, I like her voice a lot. She has a very pretty face.
So I don't care if she twerks at, Chick-fil-A. But all right, so I did watch it this week. That actually is a pretty good series with David Letterman. It's like David Letterman interviews guests, and this is his second season he's done it. Like the first season, had like Barack Obama and like a couple other people. This season is awesome because not only does he have Lizzo, but he also has
Dave Chappelle and Kim Kardashian.
Yep, Dave Chappelle, Kim Kardashian, Robert Downey Jr. Zach Galifianakis. Like it's a good season.
Yeah, I like that. I like the show so far.
Yeah, it's worth watching, man.
Speaking of music, because we were talking about music, there's some artists I like that have albums out. Like Molly Music just put a new album out. I love Molly Music. Let me see. T.I. just put a new album out. I haven't finished listening to it. He's not a new artist, but he just put an album out.
It's new music. And then, and I knew when Busta was fucking with him and trying to start some shit, I'm like, this sounds publicity. Right. Because then Busta, like a week later, drops his album.
Yeah.
Which was it was good. Him and Kendrick Lamar made something. Him and Anderson .Paak made something.
I'm in the process of listening to his album. Who else? I listened to Dej Loaf's album. Dej Loaf for me is like real hit or miss. Like I either like
super hit or miss. Yeah, it's super hit or miss.
You know what new artist I really like? Doja Cat.
I like Doja.
I like Doja. Everything she puts out so far, other than Moo, but Moo was quite clever. I won't even hate on Moo.
Yeah, right. Like it's one of the situations
so far that she puts out. I like. I don't.
As senior millennials, we're not supposed to like it, but
I know.
Like I do.
I didn't like Tia and Tamara, but then I saw the video, and the video is super dope because it got all the '90s references in it. She's hard.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to like her. But yeah,
she's beautiful. She's body goals. I like how she dresses. She's silly. I like her.
Yeah, see, and that's cool. Right. And that works. Oh,
Doja. So, yeah. If you ever watched it.
Yeah, Doja watches this, that'd be excellent, but probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Doja's not in her 30s, so she couldn't.
She's not allowed to watch it. Fuck you, Doja. You can't watch this.
I like Meg. I like Meg the Stallion. And I like Cardi.
So what you think gonna happen, man, with Meg and Cardi B? Because they can't last forever.
Well, I see Cardi stepping out into other arenas. That's one thing I like about Cardi.
Like what?
Like if you're going to be doing that, like she's sitting down with politicians. I mean, I'm not into politics, but she's sitting down with politicians. She's starting to do commercials. She's stepping out in other arenas. She's getting her feet wet in other areas.
I don't see her crossing over to acting though. Like doing commercials.
I ain't saying that, but I just see her dibbling and dabbling in other things, and it's not all but out twerking with her. I see her trying to do other things. Now, Megan,
but what's the longevity though? Because I mean, even MC, what's the longevity for her? Because even MC Hammer did popcorn chicken commercials for KFC and was meeting with people and doing stuff, and it didn't last.
Well,
Where's Cardi gonna go?
I don't know yet because this is a new age and a new era where the social media kid makes it. So we don't know what that looks like in the end. Like for instance, back in the day, they didn't have Unsung, where you could we have Unsung. We could watch all those old groups, Motown, all those old groups, you know, from back in the day. We could see the patterns of how they what they did, and the few key elements that caused, you know, that led to their demise. We can watch that and see it, and we
Yeah,
can
we had the
shape
issue
our
Hollywood stories and
yeah,
the
we can shape
VH1
our
behind the music.
they didn't have that to watch. They didn't have no references to see how drugs ended this
They didn't.
group, or how this ended you know, they don't have that. So I feel like this is a whole new era where we don't know where it ends, because we've never had social media stars make it.
Yeah, we didn't. But then again, you know, it's
And
yes
they're
and
not
no.
behind no
So
machine. Push like the machine. There is a machine, but they
it's
made
always
it
been a
without the
machine.
machine, really.
But all right. Well, kinda. So the machine for them now is social media. We know this. Whether YouTube or TikToks and even though I don't even like Reels, but Reels is a new thing. Um, and it's not very much different than video killing a radio star. So when music videos came out, 70s, 80s, especially the 80s, MTV popped up. That was the new thing. That was the MTV was the hip hop YouTube of Generation X. That was their thing, but the storyline kind of is the same though. Like the cycle of musicians, drug abuse, and fame and fortune and stardom, kind of is in the same cycle. I don't know what's. And even if now we look at this. Think about this. Think about the mumble rappers that are no longer around. It's kind of similar to when we were kids and like the 2000 the crunk artists are no longer around. The people that didn't survive the 2000s. Yeah,
I
Mike
don't really
Jones.
think the mumble rappers are gone, personally.
All right. You say that. I think they're going out though, because we're talking. All right, in terms of mumble,
It
we're
could
talking about
be.
like 5-6 years ago when like Designer and Fetty Wap and all like boom, that was like mumble rap. And I know me and you talked about it. What's rap called now? What's hip hop's like subgenre right now? It ain't to me. It's not mumble rap anymore.
Trap.
That's is it trap? Is it trap though? Because trap was part of like before mumble rap. Mumble rap like led into
I
trap
think
led into
trap
mumble
is
rap.
still a thing.
All right, and it might be considered still trap, but I feel like it's going to shift into something else in the next 2-3 years. It's gonna be something else. And
Well, we gotta have a name for like WAP rap.
there you go. WAP rap. That's what it's gonna be. We're gonna call it WAP rap.
So that's already a thing. WAP rap.
WAP rap. That's what it's gonna be. We're gonna do that because it's what it is. But the cycle happens and then people disappear and they're gone. And that's like kind
WAP
of want to
rap
figure
though
out
hasn't gone anywhere. We
who
had
hasn't gone anywhere.
WAP rap. It hasn't gone anywhere. Lil Kim, Foxy Brown. We had
Ah,
Kaya. We had Trina. We got
um.
Nicki. We got Cardi. We got Megan.
Okay. If you want to put that in there, just I guess raunchy hip hop that was made by women. We're gonna call it WAP rap.
Those
All
who are
right.
just only promoting sex in their body, and whatever.
How many
How
licks
you
is
want to
wholesome
feel,
lyrics?
huh?
So how many licks is wholesome lyrics? Okay.
I mean, to each his own.
No, it's not wholesome lyrics. And the
Pop
fact
rap
that
definitely has its place.
yeah. That to me, it's weird. The people that oppose, I guess, WAP rap, the people that are upset by it, and I feel it's generational, and I feel like that's the part that gets me upset. It's not that it's being made. It's always being made. It's the
People
hypocrites.
are allowed to not like stuff. That's what gets on my nerves. Like, you're allowed to say, I don't like this. You're allowed
All
to
right,
be like, this ain't my thing. I wish this wasn't here or made.
I got that part. I got my thing too, but I guess the hypocritical part is the people that will they'll as people our age, well they'll say, "Oh man, Uchiwali's my jam," and then be like, "Man, WAP is ridiculous." Ugh. Really? The people that do that, the people that are like, they're all about my neck, my back. They're all about Adina Howard, freak like me. They're singing all the lyrics and stuff, but then when something like WAP comes out and they're like, "Oh, this is horrible. This should never be made. This is a bad influence. This is blah blah blah." Like
But
that.
you gotta
That.
remember that when that stuff came out, we were much younger. We were in a different headspace. Some of
But
us were teenagers,
okay,
whatever. Like, you were in a different space then. So now
you're in a different space.
you're
So
in a
then,
different space. You might not like it, or you might not think that stuff should have been out, or you might not be proud of singing that stuff.
okay, but you can't sing along with Uchiwali, but then be upset about WAP. Like,
You can't be actively doing it right now. And I don't personally think that people are upset about WAP specifically. Like, they've never heard these songs. I think what it is the oversaturation. It's these young girls. This is all they're seeing. There's no other there's no balance of any other kind of thing, any other style. Is all, look at my vagina, let's have sex. I'm the best at having sex,
okay,
and I get money for having sex. Like, this is
uh,
the only like message. Like, back then we had Uchiwali, we had Kaya, My Neck, My Back. We had it, but we also had other songs.
yeah,
We had
okay. So
Missy
that's the
Elliott, I Can't
argument
Stand
being
the
made.
Rain. We
You're right.
had Queen Latifah, Who You Calling Up, we
Right, which
had,
is what I mean, we talked about this before, where I was like, all right, where are the Queen Latifahs and the Raw Diggers and the MC Lights of today? Where are they at now? Had a conversation, and I guess that's and then the next argument being made, and that's where I guess the complaint should be, where's the alternative? Because that wow,
because
WAP rap.
WAP is just the scapegoat for what the bigger problem is.
Yeah, but it's been there. Like when we were kids, it was Uncle Luke and Two Live Crew, and it was Rex and Effects with the Rump Shaker, and we had our R. Kellys, and we had all the sexual stuff. It was there. It's been there.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying I don't think that that's the problem. We know it's been there.
But they're not attacking it. People are like, man, they shouldn't have made that. The Cardi B and Megan, they should.
Because it's the scapegoat.
I got you, but like they're not talking
So
about the fact that
we'll get
the
mad at this.
alternative is not.
We're really upset with this because we can't formulate or articulate it any deeper.
We should. I can definitely talk about it
So
because the Uncle
you
Luke's
know
and the
that
Two
not
Live
everybody
Crew.
is that
Uncle Luke is
hurts.
literally responsible for the design of the parental advisory sticker.
I think too there's an agenda being pushed these days, and there's a reason why the Rhapsody don't really get played, and there's a reason why these other genres aren't being played on the radio, and I think it's more than just the money.
Well, okay.
There was some interview. Who was it? Busy Bone? Did you see that interview?
Which Busy Bone interview you talking about?
I don't know.
It is before or after the Devil Worship with Bone Thugs?
one of the Bone Thugs and Harmony members. He did a radio show, and he's talking about how somebody he knew was sitting in a room with a bunch of music execs and a bunch of higher up individuals. It was supposed to be discreet. It was supposed to be kept quiet, but they literally came up with an agenda for radio, for the music that's put out. They wanted to really cash out on, you know, sex, drugs, gang violence, you know, all that stuff. They want
the stuff that people crave.
Yeah, they really
like their carnal craving.
And they really play into those things.
I got you. All right. Before you continue, quick 90s quiz. Can you name all the members of Bone Thugs and Harmony?
No. Busy, lazy, crazy. Wishbone.
There we go. You got one more. There's one more.
Lazy Bone.
You said busy, lazy, crazy, and wish. Fun fact, open for busy. Not busy, crazy, sorry. Open for crazy. Anyways, what's that last one?
Bone, 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 bone.
You can sing it all you want. You're not going to get the last word. One more. I got you. One more. 90s millennial. See millennial. That was Wish. Wish misses Uncle Charles.
Wishbone. Crazy Bone. I said busy bone.
You said busy, lazy, crazy, and wish. There's one more. Hey, whenever you give up, let me know.
Okay.
Where's my Jeopardy button? I need a Jeopardy button and we're going to go just play this.
No, we don't.
Because occasionally there's hip hop questions on Jeopardy. I remember when there was Alex Trebek was asking about rap music. There was new rap music, and Designer came up, and Alex Trebek had to do the chorus of Panda.
I need a multiple choice.
No, not multiple choice.
I need a multiple choice, and I need to phone a friend.
Who you on phone? Who would be your Bone Thugs and Harmony like connoisseur that you like? I know you know it, or she knows it.
You know I'm from Akron and they're from Cleveland.
You're right. So you think they got it? All right, you need to phone with me. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
No, I need multiple choice.
I come on multiple choice. See, I come on. All right. All right. So you did crazy, lazy,
busy,
and wish. All right. We're gonna do
chicken bone.
Right, that'll be part of it. We're gonna do chicken bone, back to the bone, flesh and bone, and yeah, there we go, turkey bone. I don't know.
Chicken bone, turkey bone, flesh and bone, and who else?
And we're gonna do what was the last one you said? I don't know. He's in the mix though. Those are those three.
Flesh and bone.
Yes, it's flesh and bone. That's what I want to do.
Final answer.
Too easy. See, now I feel like I need to ask you another 90s question. Like, name all the Spice Girls.
Can't name them. Crazy Spice, Lazy Spice.
What the hell? He was like, oh, Paprika Spice.
Listen, Wish
There was
Spice, Flesh and
Oregano
Spice.
Spice. You can't name all the Spice Girls. You're 90s kid. You can't name all the Spice Girls. They were everywhere.
We got Lazy Spice.
Damn.
We got Crazy Spice.
You know one. I know you know at least one of them because she black. Everyone knows the black one.
Stomp your body down and wind these all around. Hey.
Yes, here we go. See, you know the words. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right. All right, 90s quiz. I asked you about the Spice Girls, but you didn't have nobody.
Posh Spice.
You Googled
Lazy
it.
Spice. No, I didn't. Crazy Spice. Flesh and Spice.
Oh, Flesh and Spice. Okay. What kind of senior millennial are you? No, I actually want to ask you, like, so, like, when you were a kid in
Black Pepper Spice.
Black Pepper Spice. Okay. When you were a kid in the 90s, what media input did you have? Well, we're talking about around the time, like, the Macarena was out. We're talking about, you know, that time. Like, we're talking about 1995, 96, 97. Like, were you into media? Were you into music heavily? Were you, you know?
I was heavily into music. I was into media to a certain degree.
So were you watching BET? Were you listening to the radio?
I was watching a little bit of BT. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of BT. I was watching a lot of
VH1,
Brandy, whatever station she was on.
All right, teach me something new, because I want to ask a question, because I know you grew up in Akron. What was, like, the hot radio stations in Akron? Like, if you wanted to catch the new stuff in the 90s in Akron, what was the stations?
So Z88, and actually my mom was a radio personality for a little bit.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
She worked on Z88 station.
Now, what time slot did she have?
I think just one.
In the morning?
Maybe two.
What, like, was she the
I don't remember what time it was, to be honest.
Okay. So that tells a lot. That tells a lot about you as a DJ, whether you got the 6 to 10 or you got the lunch shift from 10 to 2.
She wasn't like on the most popularist, but she was a radio personality on Z88 for some time. We used to get like tickets to SeaWorld all the time from the radio station. Is there
a SeaWorld in Ohio? Where's the SeaWorld in Ohio?
Yeah, we used to go to Geauga Lake and SeaWorld.
Oh, Geauga Lake. I forgot all about Geauga Lake. Oh, yeah. Man.
We used to go to those places all the time.
That's what's up, though. I'm wondering because if you got like if you got the 6 to 10 or you got the evening spot from the 2 to 6 or even the 6 to 10, you was cool. But like if you had like the 2 to 6 a.m. like that was like you just got out of college. And they needed someone.
I was very young. I was a kid, so I'm not really sure what time she had, but
That's what's up, though.
She interviewed Janae.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I would definitely sit down and talk to your mom, yo. That's something I haven't got into a whole. I mean, of course, the whole game has changed, but that's still some stories to tell. It's not what it was, but that you know what? That's a real cool thing. Like that's something I don't have at all. So I'm glad you got a mom as a radio person. That's awesome. Does she have like a DJ name?
Star, I think.
DJ Star.
I think it's DJ Star. My mom is it's DJ Carlise Raquel, I think. Her stage name now is Star. My mom is a professional singer and actress, and she does makeup.
You never told me this.
I don't know. It just never came up. She does hair and makeup, and yeah, she does all.
Mom, professional performer, radio personality. She's a singer and an actress. And you're like,
hey. I think is it Meet the Browns? He's a real light-skinned dude. His name is Anthony Dalton. He's one of the newer characters on the Tyler Perry show. He's light-skinned. His name is Anthony Dalton on Tyler Perry show.
Yeah, okay. I'm about to look him up, make sure I know I'm talking about the right person.
Yeah, light-skinned, six-pack, all of that. He actually used to go to University of Akron, and he played I think he played the son in Fences, and my mom was the main character, like the wife in Fences. I believe he was, if I'm not mistaken, he may have been the son. I might be mistaken on that, but I know
about that guy.
Yes, he's in Meet the Browns. One of them shows. Check and see on Google which character he played on which Tyler Perry show. Prior to that, he was.
You told me it was that guy, and like apparently he got a six-pack, so I guess that's him.
Just type in Anthony Dalton Tyler Perry. See which show he's on. I want to make sure I'm representing correctly. Anyway, prior to this, when he was still in college, he was going to Akron U, and my mom was going to Akron U, and they both were in Fences together. And my mom played the wife, who's one of the main characters in Fences.
All right, Anthony Dalton the second.
Yeah, so she was in, and Anthony may have played either like a neighbor or the son. I can't fully remember. We have a picture of him in the play with my mom, and like she was the wardrobe in Beauty and the Beast. She played in Aida. She
like the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Just regular play, like.
On the stage. I'm thinking,
on the
okay.
stage. Yeah.
Man, see, she getting rolled. I need to be like her, yo. I get in shit on accident. I'm an accidental extra.
You are very animated. I don't see why. Is it that you're not auditioning?
I'm not. So I'm not auditioning. I should. I'm not auditioning.
You feel like you could get it a role.
Oh, I could probably, if I audition, I could probably do it, definitely. But I get accidental extra roles because I'll be somewhere and they'll be shooting something, and I'll be like, hey, what they doing over there? And I'll go over there, like, oh, what's happening? And they're like, we're shooting a thing. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to stand here for a while. And so I've been an extra in things on accident just because I was in that place at that time. In fact, right now, the latest thing I was in extra and on accident was that American Pickle movie with Seth Rogen.
American Pickle?
Yes. So it's on, I know it's on HBO right now.
That's pretty cool.
And I haven't watched it yet. I should, because I don't know if I'm actually in it. But it was shot in Lawrenceville, and I was down there taking care of some other business. And I'm like, yo, what y'all doing? And I was talking to the extra, like, we're shooting the movie. Like, Seth Rogen's right there. I'm like, oh, shit. And, like, Seth Rogen was, like, right there. He was, like, 50 feet away. I'm like, oh, okay. And, like, I just sat down on, like one of the, like, the chairs and tables that was, like, a local restaurant or some shit. I just sat there. And the guy came over that was, like, you know, part of the crew, like, hey, you can sit here and be in this as long as you're not taking no pictures. You're cool. I'm like, all right. Laugh my ass off. I'm like, cool. I'll sit here and not take no pictures. And like, yeah.
Away, huh?
All right, I sat in the, so I was in that, and then John Leguizamo was downtown doing something. That was years ago. And I remember this part because I at the time, I was like, I must have been like, I don't know, 20, 19. I was like 19, 20, and somewhere in there. And at the time, I was working for Lids in the mall, and I had access to all these fitteds, like, you know, all these fitteds all the time, like this one. But that one was really, like, bright looking. It was this pearl and gold looking. It was bright as fuck. It was. And I was there. I'm like, you know, I'm walking. I'm like, what y'all doing? There's a big ass crowd. And I remember one of the directors or assistants or somebody came up to me and said, hey, look, you got to take that hat off. Because apparently it was like distracting in the background. I'm like, all right. So I got to see John Leguizamo fuck his lines up in person.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
It's cool. So even though I wasn't getting paid, there's people, I felt bad for them. Because I was standing there just out of the love of the art and love of the, you know, cool, I'm in a TV show. Because it was a pilot that was being shown. It was a pilot. Never got picked up. They shot one episode. It was downtown in front of the PPG building. It was like 3rd Avenue. And they had been there all day. And I was at the very end of it. And I was frustrated for them because I had only been standing there maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And John Leguizamo was coming out. And he was fucking his lines up, missing his mark that day. And I love that dude. I think he's a great performer, great actor, great comedian. I support all the stuff he does. It's great. But that day, I learned his lines standing there on accident where I'm like, I'm like mouthing along with it, like, he was like, Melon, you missed it? How'd you forget? Like, I know I just got here. And like, he missed his whole thing.
To him?
No, I didn't say it out loud. I wasn't close to say it to him. I definitely said it to some extras, like, yo, I know his lines already. I just got here. And they're looking at me like, you've been here for like 7 hours. Like, we get, like, it's like, all right, I learned your lines standing here for an hour.
Is
and
that
you still have a problem.
Acting goes?
So, I gotta say yes.
You really could really be an actor. Like, you're tall, you're nice looking, you're real animated. Like,
I do.
Really could really be an actor. I could really see you doing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely could. Normally I end up behind the scenes. So, I mean, I've done things behind the scenes since I was 10. So since elementary school, when we do our production, I was always about being behind the scenes, working the lights, working whatever. And through like high school and beyond, it's been behind the scenes. If I could definitely do, I would definitely be a friend. Now, before it was I felt safer behind the scenes when I was, 9 years old. But like now, I'd be up front.
I was in a play and I was the lead actress. So now, wait a minute. I played in Cinderella as a kid.
What was your role in Cinderella?
I think I was a stepsister, but I was like a kid. I was a stepsister.
Okay.
And you know, there was a few church plays or whatever. But then once I moved here, I was the lead character in this play called The Day the Devil Died.
Oh,
And
man.
this dude was like trying to
Sounds
holler at me.
intense. Of course.
This dude was trying to holler at me. And he hollered at me. We watched a movie together and then we had sex. And then I
Hey,
see
what?
him much later. Like he tells me he hadn't been with anybody in 10 years. And I see him later hugged up with somebody and it's a man. And he's like, I was like, you said you hadn't been with anybody in 10 years. And he's like, I said I ain't been with a woman in 10 years.
He's like, correction. Oh, wait, all right. So here's the question. All right. I got a question for you in that regard. All right, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel better or worse?
Okay, I'll get to that in a second. So The Day the Devil Died, lead character, lead actress. I love that. Like I had such a good time and I really love to act. I hate rehearsals. I hate acting rehearsals. I love singing rehearsals. I hate waiting. I learn lines and lyrics very quickly. And I hate waiting on
Other
others.
people?
It drives me crazy.
You want to get past that.
I know. And I'll thug it out for the role, for certain roles. But like I enjoy acting. I enjoy entertaining, and I really just enjoy entertaining. But it's that part of it, just waiting, redoing, waiting all day. Like
I can relate.
Yeah, I want it very timed. Like even when I do my music rehearsals, I really try to stick to the time I say it's going to be and the time it's going to end. I don't like wasting people's time. So like that's part. I feel like sometimes those days is kind of like a waste of my time.
I can relate to you all the way. I'll see that in a moment. Continue.
So after I did that play, I actually was lead actress in Mama I Want to Sing. So I sung at a gospel extravaganza. I would sing it all the time. Apparently, this lady did Mama I Want to Sing 10 years prior, and it was the 10-year anniversary, and they wanted to redo it. And she asked me to be the lead character as Doris Troy, the woman who sung Just One Look. I played her, and this was a very, very popular play way back in the day, and that was a lot of fun to do. But now, to answer your question, you said, does it make me feel like what?
Is it better or worse that he said, I haven't had sex with a woman in a long time?
It was worse. It's worse.
Made you feel worse?
Yeah.
But, I mean...
In one hand, it's slightly flattering that I'm the woman that you chose.
That's what I'm saying, though.
But unless I give you masculine qualities that make you think of what you really enjoy doing.
Okay, you took it way too far. All right, I get what you're saying. You're like, so I'm like a man? No. Okay, all right, but all right. For your sanity, I need you to feel like normally he would say no, but he said yes to you.
I don't, thank God, have never been in this situation. It would take me years to come to that position on it.
Well, hopefully it's the mic. All right, so think about this though, right? So, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Like, oh man, normally you prefer this, and do you fit in the category that he's used to? No. And I say this because if vagina is not his preference, but he connected with you either personally and or physically, probably personally, connected with you in a way where he wanted to engage in that experience with you. That's a positive thing. Like,
It's a manipulative thing.
all right, you felt manipulated?
Yeah, because in this particular place, she didn't know that that's what he was doing. It would be different if she knew and then she made the choice. He stripped her of her choice.
Okay, but well, think about this though. This is just me playing devil's advocate. If he had been honest and said, "Hey, normally I like guys, but you're special," and like that, like what would the
And
reaction
if
be to
we
that?
had that conversation, I would feel conflicted because I would be like, thanks, but why?
All
What
right,
about me?
even
I'm glad that you feel safe with me in that way,
yeah.
but why me? Like, do I have, and I, like I said, my mind, I'm very analytical. I'm going to the space of, do I remind you of a man?
Okay, so assuming he would not be on the point, well, yeah, you just like a guy to me. I figure out like, all right, I'm going
But
with the
what about
benefit
me
of
that you
the.
like so much?
I'm going with the benefit of the doubt, where it would be like, normally I wouldn't, but man, you're showing me a whole different, like, new great thing about women that I didn't have before. We're going on that direction.
That
The
would be
high,
flattering,
the
but
high
I would not
road.
engage with it in it.
Okay, now the question would come down to: would you still be like, well, you like dudes, so nah?
Not with our friendship.
No, no, with the whole experience you already had.
Okay, wait. I'm thinking that we are having the conversation before any kind of engagement occurs.
You're right, though. You're right, though. So, all right. So
So
we're
for
talking
me,
about this.
if we had that
Would the
conversation,
outcome be the same if he was honest?
no,
Why?
I have no interest in bisexual men.
But the experience wouldn't have been any different.
For who?
The whole thing, like all right, the experience itself would not have been any different than what you already experienced,
Mm-hmm.
other than having the information about him being bisexual.
Well, that changes
Everything
everything
else, that changes everything.
for me
Okay.
because there's a little bit of deceit. By the time we've reached that point,
It's
to
not to
me,
see. It's not to see if he's honest. I'm saying he's being honest with. This is my existence. This
how
is what
long
I'm
did he take?
saying.
How long did it take for him to say it to me?
Okay. Now my question to that is, where is the appropriate level to tell? So I'm playing devil's advocate all the way, and I'm like, what is the right time to do this?
This is
Whoa.
unfair because it's just me, but I'll play the game with you.
No, this is what me talking to you. All right, so
Okay,
we're
so to
going
me,
logically. Where's the right time? Here's the question I'm asking. Where is the right time to inform you to render the same outcome?
of us having sex,
Yes.
it's not gonna be that outcome.
Okay, so universally you're like, fuck it, I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Because I just feel like it opens me up to things internally that could be unsafe. In my
All right,
mind,
but
I
it's
can't
not
wrap my mind around that.
okay, but it's not opening you up to anything that you weren't exposed to, anyways.
Yeah, but I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't. And then I don't trust you with my heart because I don't know, you may be wanting to go back to that, and I don't want to be a part of that lifestyle in that way.
Okay.
Not in that way.
Alright.
So, and for those who might be watching, who wants to know what that means, I don't want to be dating a bisexual man, so I don't want to be connected to the LGBT community in that regard. However, I have homies and friends that are, and I'm cool with being connected in that way.
It's just all right. The part of the reason why I asked on the flip side is that I have friends that are close to me who refuse to date or be engaged with bisexual women. And this is both male and females do not want to be with bisexual women. And they'll be like, some of them have they all have these reasons. And I have the male friends are like, man, I'm already competing with all the dudes. I'm going to compete with all the women too. Like they have this whole thing. And the women reasons are different. It's always curious to me with that situation. So it's like without the knowledge you would, but with the knowledge you won't. Whether or not the outcome is exactly the same.
For me, the outcome won't be exactly the same.
Well,
the minute that is brought into the equation, it changes the equation. You just put X. You put an X in the math problem.
I did. I put the X in the math problem.
So it changes.
But the answer was the same situation. So
it changes the answer, or it changes the equation. It changes something. So
well, okay. I don't. All right. And this may be something we can edit out. But my follow-up question was, did you enjoy that experience until the moment you found out?
Well, I was in a play.
Gotcha. And all right.
So in the play, I did.
All right.
I've never had that happen to me in real life.
Gotcha. In the play, your character
in a polyamorous relationship. We were conversing, and we were trying to set up a time to meet each other for a date, and then he sprung that on me. He was like, I just want to let you know, I want to talk to you about something. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm a part of the life. And I'm like, what is the, okay.
He's like, I'm part of the life we talking about.
I'm like, what life? I'm part of this life too.
No, you ain't part of that life. That's funny. All right. I'm part of the life. You're like, yeah, I'm part of the acting life too. He's like, no, I'm not what I'm talking about.
So yeah, I've had that happen, but not somebody tell me that they were bi. I've seen that happen in my family though.
Yeah. That's I've seen it happen in my family as well. Yeah, I think for real, every black person who consistently go to family reunions has that relative who brings that friend or that roommate every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it should be that way in terms of acceptance. I just think that as senior millennials, I think we've experienced that, and we've experienced it. I think it's ending with us, which is cool, I guess. But I think it's ending with us in that regard. But I think we've all had that. Well, that's just their friend. They've been coming to their family for 20 years. Yeah. I think we've all had that thing happen.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I hope it ends with our generation of just not being tolerant, accepting, whatever. But yeah, I think that's the thing.
It's for sure a thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well, thank you for telling me I'd probably be a good actor. I think I could do it. I
yeah,
think I
I
could
could
do it.
really see you doing that. And I miss acting, but I'm particular about what roles I would take. I'm I've always been like singer first and then everything else later.
Well, I
But
can't
one thing,
sing, but I can definitely make some shit sound fucking dramatic or comical. So let's do it.
you know
Let's
what
do
role
it.
I want to play so very badly?
I can't even guess right now.
Take a
Well,
guess.
all right, question: is it a musical or a play?
It's a musical.
Is it a famous one or a less famous one?
Famous.
Are we talking about like level like Dreamgirls type of thing? Or are we doing?
Yes.
Is it Dreamgirls?
Yes, it is. I am Effie. I am Effie. I am Effie. I am Effie. I want to play Effie. I'm going to play Effie. I'm speaking it into existence.
Oh,
I am
if only I
Effie.
could sing, I would so do. What's Eddie Murphy's part?
Oh, Jimmy got so you could play that though.
I could, but he had to sing though. I can't do Cadillac Car. I can't sing. Oh no.
Man, I think you could fake it enough. You know enough about music. I think you could fake it.
All right.
Got me a Cadillac.
No, I will so
you
learn that
can
part. I
you
will
can
learn it.
talkie sing your way through it.
All right, I would talkie sing my way through all of it. Never do that.
Got me a Cadillac.
Hey, what's stopping us from doing it, man? People like that movie, and that
Somebody has to direct it.
I can find that. Shit, that's not the hard part. That part isn't the hard part. The hard part is finding the money. People want money. They like money. If you find
Yeah.
someone with the money, I can definitely find the people to fill in the spots. I
Cadillac.
got the people. I got the stage manager. I already know a stage manager. We'll find the director. I got that
I don't
part.
know. All I know
Get
is
the money.
that's my dream role. That's my dream role.
Dream Girls is your dream role.
Effie. Effie, it's my dream. I'm her. She is me. I am her. I could play the heck out of that role. And I say that with all humility.
I want to write. And in fact, I'm actually in the middle of composing a play. It's a musical play. But if I was going to write a brand new musical, like an actual musical, I would love to tell a story with the music from the 50s and 60s, and it already fits together.
That would be dope.
I could definitely do that. I can definitely do that. I would love to collaborate with somebody, and then we can do that. I would love to like write a musical, cast it, do the things. We're talking about music with like Chuck Berry and Etta James and Little Richard and Motown and Aretha, which is Atlantic Records, and like there's so many songs about love and interaction between young people. You can make a storyline like all together, and there's a song that applies to almost every situation.
Yeah.
And you can almost like Rock of Ages. I don't know if you've ever seen Rock of Ages. You see Rock of Ages?
Mm-mm.
All right, we gotta watch that. You gotta watch that somehow. Like you gotta experience that. Rock of Ages. They're all real songs. They're all songs that existed before the musical ever aired. But this is like 80s hair metal. It's a whole musical that takes 80s rock music and the love of it and makes a whole storyline out of it. Because it's Bon Jovi and it's Def Leppard and it's you know it's all of that and it makes a whole storyline out of it because of that era of music. The rock the power ballads and the rock solos and it's a whole thing and they make and it's great. So the same thing happens with Chicago's not the same because those songs were made for that musical. But Rock of Ages, those songs existed without the musical. The musical was made around those songs. And I think the same thing can happen with the 50s and 60s. I'm going to do that. We're gonna have to watch Rock of Ages. It's gonna have to happen. Because that's the only way to kind of experience what I'm already talking about, but for a different decade and for a different audience. Because the audience of Rock of Ages is, white folks in the 80s. We're talking about Journey and, Bon Jovi and, Def Leppard and Joan Jett and, that group of folks, which I love. It was great. That's something else I was going to talk about tonight. All the damn concerts that get canceled because of COVID. Frustrated. I'm frustrated with the concert.
I mean, then it's like I'm having hella funerals that I'm getting booked to sing at, which is,
Yeah,
it's like I want to sing, but daggone, this is like a lady wants me to sing at one on Friday, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to do that.
You got your songs picked up?
I often do For Every Mountain. It's one of my favorite songs to sing. And
well, at least you're not doing Eyes on the Sparrow.
I don't enjoy singing that song. I mean, I can.
That's like the number one pick.
I know. And I'd be like, no, I'm not singing that.
You're like, no, we're not.
The other number one pick is Amazing Grace. And I'd be like, no, please no.
Eyes on the Sparrow, Amazing Grace. Those are the black funeral songs that's requested. And you have to convince people, let's not do it super cliche and let's do something else.
Amazing Grace. I mean, I do Going Up Yonder, though. Because I have a pretty cool musical version of that. People tend to, their spirits get lifted, but I have that going on.
You gotta do the upper room. You gotta do upper room.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So are there any good movies out? So listen, my job gave me a AMC gift card.
Okay, so you want to go to a physical movie theater to see a movie
for Staff Appreciation Week. I'm like, I see how much y'all appreciate me.
So you're asking if there's anything you should go see?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide. So there's Tenet, which is like a sci-fi movie. The lead character is black. I was gonna go see that just because the lead character is black. And then there's like some kind of magnetic effect where he can make bullets come to him and some backward and forward stuff going on. I don't fully. You ever seen like a trailer where you be like, what is going on? I watched the trailer a few times and I'm like, I still don't fully know what's happening.
All right, I prefer the trailers where you don't know what's going on versus the trailers where they show the whole movie in the trailer. Like, I don't gotta see it now.
I feel you on that. So the other two movies were kind of like that, where the one is Unhinged. Unhinged is like road rage. It's a road rage movie. Like some girl cuts the dude off. He confronts her, and she's like, "Oh well," and then he's like, "I'm gonna teach you a lesson." So the whole movie, is him teaching her a lesson. He's chasing her.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck. Like, people that do the whole road rage thing, which I've experienced, because my dad would get in road rage and stuff like that, and I've experienced other people. Like, it's like people don't understand, we're all on a race to get somewhere, but no one is in the same race. But they don't get that. So, yeah, if you get cut off, whatever.
Right. So that's Unhinged. Then the third one is, it got Liam Neeson in it. And it's like Taken, but it has a bank robbery in it. So it's Taken with a series of bank robberies. But it's called The Truthful Liar. Truthful Thief.
We don't like those. We love thieves. Yes, we do. We love thieves in movies. We don't like murderers. We like thieves. We like a charming thief. We're all about that.
Yes.
We don't like
it is
murders.
always fun. I kind of want to see it though. My one homeboy was like, "That's just taken. I don't want to see that." But I kind of think it's cool. So he robs a bunch of banks, and then he gets about $9 million. Then he meets this girl, and this is all in the trailer. He meets right. He meets a girl, and then he wants to change his life around. So he starts telling all the ways he stole from these banks, right? But then somebody died, so there was a murder involved. So the detectives set him up, take the girl, and now he got to beat up the detectives. So it's like, it sounds interesting, but it sounds like that's the whole movie. Like,
all right, so the issue you're going to have, I don't know the expiration date on your gift card, whatever, your certificate, but there's not a lot of movies being released. A lot of them are on hold. A lot of them are on hold right now. And, like, you got movie theaters complaining. A lot of them are just on hold. And other than the articles I've been reading, because for me, movies has always been a big thing. You know me a little bit, like stuff like that. Like movies have been big. When I was in high school, me and my dad went to movies every single Friday. Like week in, week out, every Friday we picked a movie to go see. Whether or not it was good didn't matter. We wanted to go, experience it, and then critique it. It was every week.
I love movies. Well, I love going to the movies.
Right, and they stopped doing it. So, like, I've always been in the habit of seeing, like, all right, what's coming out this week, this month, this year, what's going on, like, what's happening. There are movies I'm waiting to see that are on hold, and it's annoying the fuck out of me. Like, Candyman is being remade by Jordan Peele.
Is that one on hold?
It's on fucking hold. It's been on hold for like 9 months. Like, I'm like, oh man, Candyman is coming out. Shit, coronavirus. Like, damn it. It's been on hold.
It's ruining everything.
Yo, and I'm like, what is going on? I want to see, all right. And so I got you, and if you want to go see it, see it. I don't like it. To me, I'll go see whether it's good, bad, lukewarm. I'll just go to the movies and then we'll talk about it afterwards. That's my mentality about movies. So
I loved, because I used to do a review with my friend, and I loved doing that because I am very opinionated when it comes to movies. I love that.
So if you love doing that, I say whatever's available, go see. Now, check this out though, because places like Waterworks, Lowe's, they're also showing classics and cult classics, both. They're putting them on the big screen again. You can use them to see that. And I know I do this. Watching a movie that you loved as a kid and rewatching it as an adult, your perspective is different.
It messes it up sometimes.
Oh, but to me, it messes it up in a good way. Whether you see it as good or bad, I'd be like, man, watching this as an adult is a new experience. And you can say, oh, man, this movie is corny, it's crap. And you're like, I used to love this movie. Or you can completely enjoy it and find, because sometimes you find new jokes, you find new agendas. New agendas in movies. I used to watch
Matilda over and over and over and over.
Oh man, Miss Trunchbull.
Oh, that's a movie I could watch again. And then Hook. I loved Hook.
I love Hook. I have too much of a relationship with Hook. There's a lot of
What way?
parallels with
Um,
Hook.
I feel that.
All right. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. Hold on.
So while Brandon's gone, I'm gonna share with you guys what I'm doing. I have a whole bunch of stuff from my great grandmother's house. We moved out of her apartment. So I have so many dishes, old plates. Here's one of the plates. I have four of these.
Woo!
Bunch of like pans. I have a
Hey yo, I got
potato
somebody.
masher that came from my great grandmother's house. Like all kind of stuff. So I've been here trying to go through all this stuff, a bunch of tea cups and glasses and hella photos, cookbook. Just I got so much stuff that actually Brandon helped me bring up to my apartment because I'm a weakling. But I
Right? Do you even lift, bro?
yeah,
Yeah.
this stuff was heavy, but I'm trying to sort through it all. The hardest part is trying to figure out what to do with these pictures. I'm gonna have to get some photo albums.
Hey yo, I got somebody who wants to join the podcast
Right now?
right now.
Well, they can join.
All right, let's put them on. I know you're in charge of the lobby, so like, let me go ahead and get them on. Now they're on the older side of the 30 perspective. They're like 39. They're like right at the last part,
Hey, it's
but
all
we're gonna
good. They
put
can
them
join.
on.
They were 30 once.
They were
For
30.
those who are older, they were 30 once.
They were at some point 30.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna put them on. We're gonna put them on. Who wants to jump on? All right, hold on. Let me go. Yeah, come on.
Who's coming on?
It's my boy Shane. Now I met Shane a while ago, and real quick thing, Shane got me on the spiritual track when I lost my way. He brought me back to the church. This is like, what am I, 34? Almost 15 years ago.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He also got me more into automotive stuff, and this is when I started like building cars up and like from early 20s. And like he's from New York, he moved to Pittsburgh, now he's in Detroit, and he's a graphic designer and he works on cars, and he's cool, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, Shane.
Let's see. As soon as he hits the he gets on the thing, man, the Zoom. All right, whenever he shows up in the lobby, I guess it'll tell us. He said he want to get on for a little bit and just join us. He likes our stuff, so.
Well, he's welcome. We're on here just shooting the breeze, talking about whatever.
Yeah, you was on like some Antique Roadshow thing.
So for my birthday, went to this studio, video,
That's a good place to be.
an audio studio, and I got to perform a song that I've never released before, which was
What song
pretty
was that?
cool. The song we had started working on together, but then you were like, I don't like this song, and so I kicked you off.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
I didn't kick you off, but, you know. So the song is called Move, but I was able to perform it live on an internet
You
show.
didn't tell me this.
I didn't tell anybody this. My mom. It's on live though. It's on Facebook Live, but I performed it. It kind of got sprung on me, and I was not gonna do it because I haven't released it yet. But they wanted an original song, and we're pretty much almost at the end of the mixing and mastering process of this song. I brought a live band to the studio. We got Los rapping on it. I'm feeling good about it.
But you know that's kind of a good way to gauge the song is by doing it live.
What was exciting was there's a lady, and a white middle-aged lady at that, who was like vibing, dancing to the song, singing the lyrics after the song was over, telling me that she loved the chorus. She loved.
That's always a good feedback.
Yeah.
Hey, Shane, turn your video on.
Working on it.
There you go.
Shane.
There you go. Woo!
How are you?
Shane?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm good.
I was just chilling, watching some crazy TikTok videos before I got this message.
Wait a second. Wait, Paul. I thought you weren't on you didn't understand TikTok. You made a whole post about what's up with this TikTok. You sounded old as hell. You're like, what's up with the TikTok? You put a bell in front of it.
Yeah, so I downloaded it to see what it was all about, and yeah, it's a bunch of people just doing bare foolishness.
That's social media. That ain't nothing new.
Huh?
That's social media. That's not new. We're doing bare foolishness on MySpace, the Black Planet.
No, I mean but some of them are doing some actually interesting or funny stuff.
Yes,
That's
are.
The difference.
There is a difference. And that's why when you made the post, I told you sound old. You're like, I am old. I'm like, listen, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit, the culture on TikTok is a little bit different.
It is.
So what are they doing? What crazy things are they doing?
Well, my first experience with TikTok is people doing a whole bunch of cosplay stuff.
Okay.
And then
all right. Okay. Yeah.
And I saw people just doing some stuff that really made no sense. But I never had the app. Once I downloaded the app, I saw more.
Yes.
How do you feel about the more you saw?
Well, people are creative. You got one guy who he's got a following based off of just him being extra. You know what I mean? He created this.
That's like everybody. You gotta be more specific.
Well, okay, extra he puts way too much energy into his reactions to things.
He's like,
okay, I'll give you an example.
He's breathing through his mouth. Yes. That's TikTok. It's a lot of that.
So now I'll give you an example. So he'll watch something funny, right? And you know how people do their reaction videos?
Yeah.
Well, he'll give his reaction to be like, that was funny.
Okay. All right. I haven't seen it yet. You gotta share it with me. We gotta do that. I enjoy TikTok. I think it's a fresh new platform. I like it. So the fact that you're liking it, cool. I can show you some stuff that I think is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I just watched one tonight. The guy going through the drive-through, and he's on TikTok and he's got his phone. He was like, all right, y'all, check this out. I'm about to do this. I've always wanted to do this. And he starts to put in his order. He's like, hello? Yeah, I'd like to order some chicken wings. And next thing you know, the guy in the drive-through mic was like, hey, shut up. I'm tired of that, man. You on TikTok, ain't you? And he just starts cussing.
And they know. People doing it for the TikTok.
Yep. So there's a
I
whole
got introduced there
variety
to
of
it, like choreography and stuff. So I love to dance. So I'm like watching those things. So that was a lot of fun. But then once I got a TikTok, oh, it was on and popping at that point.
Yeah.
I started doing dance videos. I started doing like skits from Dream Girls.
Mm-hmm.
All kind of stuff. So you really fall down the rabbit hole on there.
It's a lot easier, man. A lot easier to fall in the rabbit hole.
Big variety show, because it's you got 30 seconds to sum up whatever you're gonna broadcast and make your mark. Whereas YouTube, you could take 3 hours to record something.
You can take 10 hours on YouTube. They've extended it 10 hours, 12 hours.
So, I mean,
you can do whatever.
YouTube's open to everybody, but TikTok is where it's like you get to show, do you have some talent or something special about you or not? You know what I mean?
For real. Like on TikTok, you are not allowed to do live, like we're doing here. You cannot do live unless you have a certain amount of following and like influence. You cannot. They won't let you do it. Like you can't have like 36 followers and go live. They won't let you do it. Like, at all. You gotta definitely have a large thing happening in order for them to even give you access to that.
Now, here's a question. Now, TikTok, I mean, is it possible to make money on TikTok?
It's possible to make money on everything. Yes. So, yes, there are TikTok people who make money. I'm
talking about like how on YouTube, if you have 1,000 followers, then you become monetized.
All right, so I think you're looking at it a little differently. So YouTube, which started, what, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago almost? 15 years ago, we'll say that. They didn't start that way either. So, yeah, they eventually became monetized, but as a company. But TikTok, yes, you can make money on TikTok, but it's not going to be necessarily from TikTok. So you can get sponsorships. You can, make your own money based on your influence as an influencer. So yes, you can make money too. Oh, you can definitely make money with TikTok. It may not be from TikTok. It's not like YouTube. YouTube pays their influencers if you're big enough. But that's only because, again, they started 15 years ago plus. And they're making money from their popularity. Now they can pay people to make more money for them. And TikTok is worldwide, and they can do it. And I'm sure there's probably somebody out there doing it. Yeah. Where they're making money from TikTok. But of course, when you're an influencer, you got lots of follows. Any endorsement, they'll pay you to promote their stuff. You know that.
Yeah. So I'm pretty fresh and new to TikTok because I didn't know what it was for the longest time until I decided to just download the app and find out.
All right. So it's the new MySpace. It's the new YouTube, new Facebook. Like, so as you know, as being part of the millennials, like we started this type of thing. Now the platform changes. There's no longer the Black Planets and the Asian connections and the all of that stuff, right? But yeah, the platform changed. No longer like MySpace, but it's the same type of thing. The culture's a little bit different, but this is our generation of stuff. This is why I don't know. You haven't gotten this far probably in TikTok or not, but the Gen Zs, the Zoomers, they're upset that we're on it.
Wow.
Yes, because they
doing it better than them.
Right. To them, to them, we're old, which I understand. Cool, fine, we're old, fine, whatever.
Speaking of that,
all the people that got the best content on TikTok are either Gen Xers or maybe like the early.
But see, you can't be a senior millennial or a Gen X and say that we have the best. Like, that's a very biased comment. You can't.
No,
You
no, no.
can't be like, we got the best content. Of course you think that, because it appeals to you.
No. I mean, I'm not looking at it from a generation thing. I'm looking at it just from an observation, like the people that got the funny jokes or the best skits or the most interesting whatever. They're not little kids. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yes, again, yeah, you know,
So that's just looking
I
at it.
agree with you.
That's just looking at it objectively.
It is. I agree with you, and which they're having an issue with. So there's been, I know you just got to TikTok, but there's definitely this war, a civil war happening on TikTok between the millennials and the Gen Xers versus the Zoomers and the Generation Alphas.
I don't think the older generation even notices that that there's beef.
So the only time that the older generation notices is when the younger generations be like, "Man, get off our app, get off our platform." We're like, "Hold on, stop, pause. We invented this type of thing. We are the ones who made this internet platform a thing."
It sounds like it's kind of like how the mumble rappers is mad at all the 90s hip hop dudes. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
They want to like hijack the genre and do whatever the hell they want. And then totally disrespect the people that came before.
All right, so it's like this. Imagine if Carol Shelby told Henry Ford, like, "Fuck you."
Right.
All right, you get that. I know Sherelle, that she was like, "What are you talking about?" I know Shane does.
Well, I mean, he probably has in a professional way, because every time Ford has come out with anything on the Mustang platform, he's always one-up them.
I know, I got you though, but like, imagine if Carol Shelby told Henry Ford Sr., like, "Yo, you ain't shit." You'd be like, "Yo, really? What the fuck?" Like, it'd be like, right. And that's where it's at.
If it wasn't for Henry Ford, Carol Shelby, he would probably be doing something else.
Right, for real. So that's where we're at. That's where TikTok is kind of at, though. That's where we're at, though. Where they're like, as we understand, every generation wants to feel that they have done something independently creative on their own to stand out.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess they just don't realize in their naivete that,
right,
you know, it's like
it's just not
this generation. Yeah, they would just probably still be in the womb. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, online gamers, right? There would be none of that without Sega Channel.
It wouldn't. There wouldn't be Xbox Live without Sega Channel. Now, for sure, all right, Sherelle's kind of left out.
I'm not really left out. I used to play Sega and all that stuff back in the day.
Okay. I was going to try to relate it.
Is how they can have the arrogance that they have. I just don't.
Because they want. Here, where the arrogance comes from. They really would like, and I understand this. They want to have something that's their own.
They want to have it without earning it. They ain't never had to work for nothing, and that's probably because they've only been here like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's just weird.
All right, Shane, I need you to stop sounding old, please. Oh, like you say, all right, you sound just like the greatest generation or baby boomers. Like, y'all ain't shit, y'all youngsters. Y'all call this music. Y'all call this. Let's don't follow it.
Shane can have that perspective if he wants.
I'm putting it a little differently, because like the old school, like our old school generation that we know, they spoke out of just pure ignorance without explaining anything. They would say somebody's just a young brat without educating.
You do understand that every generation has done that, right?
Well,
So the same thing happened with what they call the silent generation. The silent generation came before the baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to wait. The silent generation came before the
What generation?
They call the silent generation. That's the generation that came before the greatest generation. So the parents of the people who went to World War II, they said the same thing because before them there wasn't swing music and big band and rock and roll. So they were like, oh, they had the same mentality.
Right.
And then that happened.
I can get down with progress. I'm all about progress, but when it comes to something that just lacks any kind of substance, that's the problem.
But you know see, I mean? Like that I'm trying to tell you, it hasn't changed.
But I understand Nat King Cole. I can get down with Nat King Cole. You know what I'm saying?
You can. You're right. But you're listening. Right. I mean, you right. Nat King Cole, awesome.
It's very different because it's like you got. I'll break it down like this. You got Sugar Hill Gang generation, right? Then you got Nas generation,
early '80s,
and you got. We'll even take it as what's his name? I can't remember his name right now, but you know, think of the greatest late '90s MCs that you can think of, maybe even 2000s, right? There was still a lot of lyrical skill, but then you bring in mumble rap that has no coherent.
We just talked about that. Okay, all right. So you're right. So for us, we're like, yo, this is where y'all at.
All through those generations up until mumble rap.
So, okay, I guess I'm trying to relate this. Prior to our generation that came, so think about sampling. Okay, 80s and 90s, like hip-hop was all about sampling music. You know this. We were sampling George Clinton and James Brown and in all the 70s funk, where the Get Down, but we were sampling that. But before that was an option, people had to come up with original stuff because this wasn't an option. So they're looking at us and it's like, what are y'all doing? Y'all just taking our stuff and just hacking it up and doing, you know. And we're like, this is music. This is awesome. Now we're at that point where and I know both Sherelle and you have heard stuff like, wait a second. I was alive when this was a hit. Now they're sampling it. Shit. Like for real. Y'all have heard this. And like, we're old people now. The fact I heard Mama Number 5 on the oldie station. We're at that point. Like the generation the Z, the Zoomers, the Generation Z and Generation Alpha, which is what your twins and Bishop, they're in Generation Alpha. That's what they're considered right now.
Right.
Yo, they are looking at it like we did when we were kids, and we were like, yeah, this is hot. They're there, and I'm trying not to keep the disconnect happening.
Well, I get
that's where we're at.
I totally understand what you're saying, but you're missing the point of what I'm saying.
All right. What you saying?
So it's like the best way I can say it, it's like, yeah, there was a slow kind of like decline on originality, you know, due to the generational change and the increase in technology, right? But then when you introduce mumble rap, it's like everything goes out the window. Everything. Because before the generation of mumble rap, there was still the thing where no one hip hop artist sounded like somebody else.
Yes, they did. You know this. You know. I can give you. I can. Tons of examples when one person changes the game and they try to replicate it 50 times.
No, Brandon, he's talking about before that. That became a thing recently. But in the
But then-
90s, like in the 90s, if you listen to the radio stations, and you know, like I said, my mom was a DJ.
I know you're not a DJ.
Sounded
knows what I'm talking
different.
about.
Everything sounded different in that time. Everybody
Yep.
had their own individual styles. It wasn't all the WAP
And if
rap.
you tried to copy somebody,
Okay, hold on. All right, you ready for this though? Fine. You say that. Let's go to the 80s, where we know the hair metal bands. Okay, we know the Aerosmiths and the Bon Jovis and the Guns N' Roses and the Poison, Def Leppard, Whitesnake. Those are the big names that we know now. But if you go back to that time, when one band made it, there were like 100 hair metal bands trying to do the same thing.
That's a genre.
Right. But see, the thing is that happened now, though.
Like, okay, so like if you would listen to the radio at that time, there were different genres. There were different styles that were being played and being.
Well, I was just talking about just a single genre in culture.
Yeah.
You're talking right, but you're talking about now, though. I'm telling you that it's been the same thing every decade. There's a reason.
The way it's been
like
promoted
this,
and the way it's been put out in the
like
media
this.
has not been the same. The way
right,
it's been put out in the media has not been the same.
All right. Yeah. Yes and no. All right. So I definitely understand what you're saying.
Sounds like
I feel that. Here's what I feel.
Like little whoever.
There are less.
Exactly the same.
There are less genres that are popularly acceptable. But the trend of finding, one person or two people or three people that take a sound and they make it popular, and then the music industry takes that sound and they replicate it 100 times, not new. It's definitely been happening at least since the 50s.
Nuance. I get that. That's what I've been saying. I understand what you're saying. You're talking about the nuance. I'm talking about the pretty much the comprehensive everything, like
big picture.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, we have one-hit wonders?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about let me think of some artists that are out right now. All right.
Like for instance, now you got
Lil Wayne, sounds like
you got SZA, you got.
If you close your
eyes,
you
Lil Wayne.
You
said Lil Wayne. You can't even say Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's our generation. You can't even say that.
What?
Did you say Lil Wayne?
I was trying to illustrate a point.
All right, go ahead.
My point is, a lot of these artists that are out now, you could close your eyes and listen to them in a track back to back, and you'll think it's the same person, the same exact person. But
I did that.
You can tell the difference between Warren G and Will Smith, or Snoop Dogg, or KRS-One, or whoever. Anybody from like the late 90s on back, you could tell everybody apart, no matter what they're sampling on the track.
Totally agree. I'm with you, Shane, on this one.
Okay, all right. So I'm
like you got Gene Aiko, SZA, Summer Walker, what is the girl's name? Like all of them sound alike, and all of their music pretty much sounds alike. Ella May, like you could keep playing them back to back to back to back,
and it
like
seems
like you're listening to the same person.
You think it's the same album that's just not ending. There's no uniqueness. There's no actual skill. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's no substance either. I mean, it's like, you know that like from New York hip hop versus West Coast hip hop.
Here's a question for y'all, and this is from our generation. My question.
Hold on, let him finish what he was saying.
Finish it up.
All right.
That's the same question.
So whether you go from East Coast to West Coast or anywhere in between, everybody had their own style, and if anybody was trying to sound like anyone, they pretty much got kicked out the game quick.
Yeah.
Because that was considered biting. You were just blacklisted. You wouldn't
get
any club, nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to hear you because you was
at all. sound like everybody else, right?
But now to sound like everybody else gets you paid.
Here's a question.
What's the dude with the red Twizzler hair? What's his name?
Trippy Red.
The other one.
Not that one. The other one. The one that look and sound like him.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
He made $4 million in like a year off of nothing, and he knows he makes BS music.
Takashi?
No, well.
What is that?
No, he got rainbow. He got rainbow. It's not red. He got rainbow.
Black dude, red dreads.
Doesn't narrow it down.
He said he was better than Tupac.
Oh no.
It was like half of them.
His name starts with little something.
Okay, that doesn't narrow it down at all. If you say it started with big something, maybe.
Now you understand my point.
Yeah, that little, just saying that word right there will tell you.
I mean, even Donald Trump can't tell them apart because he called Little Pump Little Pimp in front of everybody.
All right, he also thought that. All right, we can't go on Trump, man. We can't. Because he thought, was it Kansas City was in Kansas. So we.
Kansas City is in Missouri, right?
Exactly. You can't, right. We can't go on that. But, all right. So here's a question for both of y'all. Okay. If y'all would have asked y'all parents if they could tell the difference between Beanie Man and Elephant Man, could they do it?
Only if they heard of them.
That's the issue I'm saying. If they heard of them and they know it. So we're at that level.
My parents are pretty hip. So.
I mean, because here's the thing.
They probably might be able to.
I'm a music enthusiast. So if I haven't heard of somebody, I'll go listen to them.
All right, yes, I got you. All right. So what the point I'm trying to make is we're at our parents' level for our music. Okay, so yes, you can't tell the difference between little this and little that. Like we don't know. Like that's a little whatever. Like but our kids know. You and Shane. Like me and Shane, our boys are literally born the same day. If I go to Bishop and I ask him about a person, and he'll like, oh man, that's a little something something, and I'll be like, all right. Sure, whatever. It's the same thing that used to happen for our generation. If you go to our parents, or even Generation X. If Generation X and they went to their parents and they talk about the Cure and the Smiths, and they talk about Joan Jett, and they talk about Bon Jovi and White Snake and the Rat, like their parents and they're like it all sounds the fucking same. Like. For them, Bon Jovi and Aerosmith sound the damn same. We don't. They didn't know.
I guess it would be different. Like, all right, we know who Bon Jovi is, right?
We do. Yes.
Yeah, but check this out. What if the next generation you ask them who's Bon Jovi, and they know who Bon Jovi is, but they consider music classical music, right?
Yeah.
That's the disconnect. We know it is. That's not classical music.
You know what's funny about that? So my coworker, she's white. She's like in her 40s. She took a kid on an appointment and she was listening. It was one of the trap music songs was on, and so she was kind of singing along. And the kid was like, "You know this song?" And she was like, "Yeah, I listen to a little bit of everything." And he was like, "Oh, I thought you would listen to the same style of music Miss Sherelle listens to." And she was like, "Well, what does Miss Sherelle listen to?" And he said, "I don't know. She listens to Oprah."
What?
But what I listen to in the car is R&B.
Nah, you listen to Oprah. You get R&B. You get R&B. Everybody gets R&B.
I'll give you an example of you know what.
Roll now, it's official.
And what hip hop really is, right? So I was talking to this guy at the time. I think he was maybe like 23, 24, whatever, right? And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to a hip hop concert tonight." I was like, "What concert is that?" "Oh, I'm going to listen to Future and some other artist was going to open for him." So I was
Randy
like,
Watson.
So I was like, "Wait a minute, you think that's hip hop? You think that's rap?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, Future's the truth." I was like, "All right, listen to this. Let me know what you think." So I put on some.
KRS-One.
No. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go that far back for him. I put on some Black Thought, and immediately he started listening to it. He was like, "Damn, what is this? This shit is hard. Oh my god!"
Okay, here's a question though. Did you make the connection for him when it comes to modern media? Did you take it that far?
That was after he listened to it. I just gave him a taste because I don't want his head to explode.
So here's the thing with that one. You got Black Thought, right? You said Black Thought, right?
Right.
So we know he is the lead MC for The Roots.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And this is an issue I had, but I understand why they did it. But listen, so Black Thought's The Roots. The Roots are the house band for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Right.
Where on that show, they go with his government name, Tyreek.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So to me, I'll be like, yo, this dude is the MC for The Tonight Show.
Right.
Like, you understand? Like, this dude has a permanent gig till either he quits or he dies on fucking network television. Like,
you and I know he is the most underrated MC.
You know what? I don't know if he's all right. I'll put him in my top 5 underrated, but I don't know if he can. Him and Mos Def, if they were in the same room, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, the two of them make this shit seem so easy.
You enjoy the collaboration. That's what you do.
Yo, like, the two of them in the same room making shit look so damn easy. I don't know what to do with myself. And that's the thing. Like, that's the thing though. You saw them Black Thought. He don't even know the full context of Tyreek and what he does.
Right.
And it's cool knowing that, but like
at the time, the context was not about trying to show who Black Thought was. The context at the time was about showing this young guy what hip hop was. You know?
And you know what?
And he was like, "Are there other artists on this level?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
My god! I had a whole. I was doing a writing session with some artists that were Zoomers, and we were discussing the direction of a song, and it was like 2 months ago, and I was like, "Hey, look, like, where are the artists now that tell a full story? Where are the storytellers? Where are the storyteller art?" And like, they tried to present what they thought were storytellers. I'm like, no, I'm talking about the artists that take an entire 4-minute song and tell an entire fucking story. Right. And they make the shit rhyme, and the shit was deep, and it was awesome. They couldn't come with nobody. They couldn't come up with it. I'm like, I was frustrated.
You're not gonna find that in the mainstream. You know why? Because
where is that?
Intelligent artistry doesn't make money like it used to, because
it doesn't.
The focus of the mainstream.
It doesn't.
Is social engineering.
Unless you can find, and there's not many people who can find that balance of the two. Like Jay-Z can do a trap song and have it still be conscious. Kendrick Lamar has that skill, but very few people, and those are actually my favorite hip hop artists that can do that. But very few artists got that in them where they can perfectly mesh the two. Outkast.
Right.
Where
and that's why
a lot of people don't know about
like Anderson .Paak. I love Anderson .Paak. He does that. Anderson .Paak is new, and it's a point where Dr. Dre technically brought him to the mainframe, to the main front, but like he can do that. And he just released new shit with Busta, and he's young, and he's doing it. And Sherelle, you're right. There's not enough of that. And I'm irked. I am like peeved about this situation.
I like Big Sean a lot. He's a newer artist. He doesn't write his raps down.
I like Big Sean.
Yeah, I like
Big Sean is diverse because he'll do some deep shit, but he'll do some shit that's like for the club. Like it's both.
Right.
That's why I like Big Sean.
If you can find that balance.
Talk about a artist that's stuck in the past and can't figure out how to adapt to what's happening.
Nelly.
You said Nelly? I said
did.
Cassidy.
Who did you say, Shane?
I said Cassidy. He's
all right. Well, yeah, of course not. Cassidy.
See, Cassidy has skills, but he's subjecting himself to modern battle rap, and it's not working out for him.
Because he grew up when long pink tees were a thing for a second. No, he's not Cassidy's not going to. All right, that's like trying to ask Young MC or fucking what's his name?
I don't think 50 Cent could.
50 Cent can't. But all right. So there comes a point in time in music where you definitely need to accept your position in it. And there are artists who can, who can't. And there are some people who can transcend. That's the hardest part. Like Cher, example, she had #1 hits in 4 different decades.
And that's an accomplishment.
Exactly. That is extremely rare. That is hard to do. And that actually, like, the reason why she had the right beat it. She lent her voice to a producer's idea. The producer of that decade made it happen, and she, as an artist, as a singer, lent her voice to it. But normally, an artist, musician, they're kind of that decade, of that time. And you eventually have to accept that music isn't forever. You are not going to be forever on top. And I think that there are extremely amount of musicians who do not understand that
it happened a little.
Your time is limited when it comes to music.
Well, in addition to that, though, you have to be willing to reinvent yourself a number of times. And if you're not willing to do that, then it really, like you got somebody like Missy Elliott, she kept reinventing herself over and over and over.
She did.
Jay-Z kept reinventing himself over and over. The ones that last a long time, they've reinvented themselves in one way or another.
They have
Beyonce, she hasn't been here that long, but she kept reinventing herself.
Beyonce is past 20 years in music. That you are a senior citizen in music by then.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people that stay iconic learn to know when to transition into something else. Like Babyface, I'll give you that example. We know him as an excellent R&B singer of all kinds of smooth R&B. After a while, he got out of the limelight and went to behind the scenes, and he remained infamous, or not infamous,
All right.
but you know what I mean?
I got what you mean, but
That, like,
I
if you
remember.
get
I
out of
remember the moment.
scenes, I do think that if you leave the scenes, you can be infamous. Certain ones who were really like a baby face, those who were like really like legends. I think if you stay out of the scenes, that mystery, you know, you can hold on to that. But if you want to stay in the scenes, if you want to stay in the
Stay
scenes,
visible,
you got to
leave
be
on a high
versatile.
note.
You got to be willing
Right.
to change your brand. You got to be willing to switch.
So
the
here's
game.
the issue though. So Sherelle's right on that. If you're willing to step back and just, write songs, lyrics, cool. Because I remember the moment where Babyface became too old.
I didn't
And
even notice.
Yeah,
all right.
he went through a phase of that.
Do you remember, Shane, do you remember the moment where Babyface grew like a little short beard? It was early 2000s. He grew a short beard.
Yeah, I didn't know because I wasn't paying attention.
He had a video, right? And I was laughing. And I was like, because I grew up like, my dad played it. I listened to it plenty of Babyface. We're talking about Tony Rich Project, Babyface, when he become Kenneth Edmonds. Like, I would play his songs for my piano recitals when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cool. I'm trying to remember the video he had, but he was up there, he was clapping with one hand, like, with the one hand up. And he was doing this. And that was the moment he had a beard. He Babyface with a beard. And became too old for the scene. He was trying to keep up with the Jaheems. Remember Jaheim?
Oh, man.
Yeah. It was at the same time, like when Beard started, and he was trying to keep with Jaheim. And it was like, it doesn't work for you no more. You're done.
Right. I mean, his name is Babyface. He ain't got no business wearing facial hair.
You're right, but he was trying to, change it up. His whole thing was changing it up. Right. He did this. And it was like, you're done.
Yeah, that time comes from every artist. Remember when Maxwell, you all know Maxwell?
Of course I know Maxwell. Woman's Worth. Every woman who's over the age of 25 knows Woman's Worth, Maxwell.
So, let me finish. When he stepped away, right? He came back, he did A Woman's Worth, and then he stepped away again, and he came back and tried to make some other songs. For us, we think the songs were still good because he got a golden voice.
He does.
For the time, it wasn't making a connection with people.
Of course not.
And that's a huge pill to swallow.
The society,
it is.
There's not that much romance happening anymore, not like it used to be. Well, we're in that generation where everybody's texting and no one's looking directly at each other.
Right.
So the idea of romance and slow jams and stuff, that's like a faded memory now.
It's a super faded memory. It's a super faded thing. All right. So a few years ago, I was DJing a prom event, right? And they gave me a list, and it was a bunch of mumble rap and trap stuff. And I was conflicted because the administration who was paying me was like clean music, and the kids were like trap, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, if I play this, it's going to be instrumental because I can't play none of this shit. But I did it, and they're sitting around, and they're on I'm watching the crowd because as a DJ, I'm watching the crowd, see what's going on, so I can play off of them. I already had my list. My list was like 70, 80 songs. Like I know, like this is what they requested. 3 weeks, I've been asking what they wanted to hear. I played this music that they wanted. I mixed it, put it together, make sure it was great. And I didn't have the response I'm used to getting. The response I'm used to getting is if you like it, you dance. If you don't, you don't dance. Like,
but nobody dances anymore, so
they don't. They didn't do shit. They were there. They're on their phones. The guys are in a group talking to them, and like the girls in the group talking to themselves. And every once in a while they would interact, but there wasn't like a whole bunch of dancing. And then at the end of it, they were like, "Oh man, you were great." I'm like, and I'm like,
rap to each other.
yeah. And I'm like, look, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
in today's world, a DJ is only there for ambiance.
Oh my! I was so confused, but I was like, "You mean I was great? I was out there stressing out because y'all weren't doing shit." And you're like,
I'm so glad we were the last group to really be like dancing.
Yeah.
At the club. I'm so glad to have been a part of that.
$10, $15.
Slow dancing is done. The whole like, hey yo, it's the last song of the night. Grab your girl. Like that phrase, that thought process is gone.
It's gone.
There's no more of the. If this will remind from the wood.
You live in a hookup culture.
Yeah, like even
I haven't been on a date in probably a decade just for that reason.
Yeah,
because
I was watching Moesha.
I
went back watching that on Netflix, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. But anyway, one thing on there is they were actually going on dates.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes were like literally inviting them to go on dates, and that does not happen anymore. Hardly. It happens. I'm being, but
I mean, there's some guys that try, but oftentimes it just ends up in just like a bunch of texting,
Yeah.
And I can only speak from my own experience, but it's like the times that I would try to get to know someone. It's like they want me to sweep them off their feet through a text before any actual interaction even begins. You know what I mean? It's like, what could I possibly say in the text that will motivate somebody to actually pick up the phone and talk?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's a different world. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, it's like nobody wants to actually communicate. Remember way back, I'm about to take it back in the day. When
all 8 tracks.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna go as far back as 8 tracks. I'll take it as far back as like if you thought somebody was cool, if you had no game, that was okay. All you had to do was just literally write on a napkin or a piece of paper, "Do you like me?" And that was an icebreaker.
All right, so I remember that time, and what sucked was when girls started to write their own boxing.
What?
All right, so maybe
I'm not sure.
Yeah, right. So Shane, because Shane is a little bit older than us. Okay, he's a little bit older than us. He's like 3-4 years older than us.
Yeah, I remember when if you wanted to call somebody, you actually had to know their phone number.
Yeah, know it. And then I was just talking about this about 2-3 weeks ago on the podcast about the new generation will never understand calling a girl's house and having to talk to their parents.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing, the whole process. You had a whole game plan. Like the parents answer the phone. You had to know what to say and do to get to the girl.
See, I've always had weird experience with that because I've always had it every single time where the parents just loved me, but the girl wasn't feeling me.
See, well, the parents and the girl like
the girls wasn't feeling you because the parents loved you.
No, see, I know how to play
that ain't
both.
Even a you problem.
I know how to see. I get what she's saying. Like parents, I know how to play both ends. I had to play the dad had to like me. I had ambitions for life, and the dad liked me. He's like, all right, cool. And then I get to the
parents was trying to hook me up with their daughter, and I'm like, good grief.
I remember my old boss was trying to hook me up with her son. And I'm like,
wow.
This is incredibly flattering because people don't. And this lady, I love her dearly, but she is a no-nonsense, tough cookie. So for her to even consider it was a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
That means you were safe.
I don't know how to take what you just said.
You don't have to
All
worry
right.
about losing your job.
Wait, hold on. Here's how you take it. At our age now, that's a compliment. When you were like 20, that wasn't. Yeah, you were safe. There's a mom looking for someone for her son. So she's looking for someone who'll be good and protecting and supportive.
Yeah,
And
like that's a big, huge compliment. That's a big deal, really.
yes, at our age now in the 30s, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you were 19, you was the safe one.
Man, yeah, I've had it to where, I mean, looking back, I don't know. I had real conservative values when I was younger. Because I remember one time when I was 22, I knew this girl. She was I think she was like 18, 19, just fresh out of high school, right? I'm already established doing my thing in life. And her father was like literally gave me his blessing even before he got out of high school. Like yeah, I could see you being my son-in-law, and it's like at the time the girl, she did like me, but I kind of felt some kind of way because I felt like I was robbing the cradle. But looking in hindsight, it's like being much older now. It's like somebody 5 years younger than you is not that big of a deal.
So okay.
Yeah. That changes once you get older.
Up to like high school age, it feels a little weird.
Yeah.
Of course it feels weird.
It is weird back
you're
then.
just starting life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're really at different stages developmentally. Like you're really at a different stage. But then, you know, you reach our ages and it's like, oh, 5 years, that ain't it.
Right.
So here's a question for y'all, okay? Because I saw a meme to me that connected. It connected with me. I'm like, oh, that's stages in life.
Mm-hmm.
How well do either of y'all know the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Oh, yeah.
I've never
saw
seen
that
it.
a few times.
Okay, so Shane's going to get this, Sherelle's not. The meme was about the fact that in your stages in life, you have the stage where you connect with Ferris, where you understand that and that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then you connect with Cameron, and then you connect with Rooney. Like, you have those stages where you like, where that becomes you, like, you connect and understand those characters as you grow older.
I mean, the stage in my life now is like, I kind of look at Ferris Bueller's Day Off as a time of innocence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm like, come on, think about this, man.
Well,
He goes in there,
when I was a
he
kid,
takes his friend's Ferrari.
I looked at it as fear and consequences. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're at the Cameron stage. You're right before the Rooney stage.
Right.
Like I right now, I fully understand Cameron all the way. As a kid, you're like, yeah, like Ferris Bueller, like, yeah, let's go hard at it. Let's do it.
Right.
And then as we get older, we'll be on Rooney shit. Like, why aren't you in school? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a whole different thing.
When I think of that movie, the one thing that stands out in my mind is that scene where he put that car up on Jack's trying to turn back the odometer.
Yeah, right. So
only for the miles to get higher.
Right. When you're 15, you're like, that might work. And then like you're adult, like, that shit don't work.
That is not how you turn back an odometer.
It is not.
Putting it in reverse and letting it run.
But hold on, wait. Do you not get respect? Do you not get respect when you're like, hey, we're going to have to crack it open and roll it back by hand? You're like, damn, this teenager knows a little bit of something about something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, that's the only way to do that shit. Like, you can't just roll an odometer back by hand. Right, but still, like, those are the three stages that we go through. Like, we go through Bueller, then Cameron, and then Principal Rooney. And that was like, I relate to this. I relate to this because I'm definitely at the Cameron stage of shit. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to do for my friends, you, Sherelle, and you, Shane, is I'm trying to postpone the mentality of getting old. And I'm trying to do that by showing that the trends are exactly the same.
You're going to be on Facebook holding up, like, the West Side sign.
No,
Like,
the trends I'll say this time and time again. From the 1920s to the 1980s, the trends had a slow progression and regression. And then when it came to 2010 on, it fell off a cliff. That's totally different.
That sounds like an old man saying, listen, it did not. Every single generation, especially starting with the atomic age, we're talking about the 50s, the early 50s, from 1953, it did not. It was rock and roll is the devil, and the teenagers are crazy, and reefer is horrible. Reefer, there was a whole PSAs, public service announcements, about reefer in the 50s that targeted Hispanics and blacks and people. It was hard. So it's nothing new. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, there's nothing new about this at all. Rock and roll. Hey, we're talking about even in the 20s and 30s. We're talking about jazz music and liquor. That was the devil. That was horrible. Like, there's a whole musical run. Chicago is all about that. Oh man, like you listen to jazz music and words like hip. The word hip was bad at some point. In the 20s and 30s, especially the 40s, the word hip or hep was like a new word.
Oh, okay.
Right. Beatniks, they smoke reefer and they listen to that horrible demonic jazz music. And they're like, it was so fucked up. So, all right, here's the best. Hey, you know what? I'm trying to think about this. Remember this? All right, I don't know if Sherelle knows this.
No, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is different.
It's not. Who's the Prince of Darkness? Who's the Prince of Darkness? Who is titled as the Prince of Darkness?
The title of the Prince of Darkness?
Yes. You're old enough. Who is it, Shane?
What, Lucifer?
No, not that old. Ozzy Osbourne was the rock and roll Prince of Darkness.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you why I didn't get that right. There's this it's context. And that's why I'm saying that what I'm saying and what you're saying is different. You're not wrong, but I'm talking within a different context.
What context you talking in is not that, because like that was a big thing. But now he's considered classic rock.
Well, like, I don't know that because I don't follow him, so I wouldn't know that.
I got you, but now Metallica, Megadeth, and Ozzy Osbourne, and they're considered classic rock, and almost to the level of soft rock. The things that were considered the evil of the world at the time that was corrupting the youth.
I totally with what you're saying. All I'm saying is what I'm saying is it's a different context. I'm talking about intellect and substance. And I'll give you an example, right? You and I know who Martin Luther King are, right?
Yeah.
We've known about Martin Luther King since we were in grade school because it was taught to us, right?
It was.
My kids didn't know who Martin Luther King was until, like, I think 2 years ago. Because, yeah.
I got you. And I like, to me, it is a travesty. To me it is.
Taught that stuff in school. And I'm like, oh, sir, they're really omitting a lot of different things.
They are. That's always been the case. What I'm trying to say is,
like,
what was
Common Core math and math that we grew up with.
Yeah, Common Core math is some bullshit. On the math level, I agree with you all the way. Contextual math
reading has gotten just as dumb too.
It has, but
they've done it on purpose.
Of course, they done it on purpose because some company was able to sell the government on our ways to Beth. It's horrible, but this is where I'm trying to be at with this. Okay, and hopefully I try to I express it correctly. The stuff that we learned. And this is all right. Part of this is the reason why that the millennials in general, but the senior millennials are a little bit special in this regard because we were at the cusp of the change of the accepted history and information moving over to the new thing because we were technology, history, because before us, Columbus Day is what it is what it was. Columbus discovered America, 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue, the Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Maria.
Yeah.
You tell somebody 20 years younger than us about the Nina and the Pinta, they were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Right. Cool. But we do both. Our generation is on the cusp of both.
Right.
Both parts of this.
We understand both sides.
Right. With technology, too. We know this. Shane, I know you know how to use a rotary phone. You also know how to use a smartphone. And I know that my parents don't know shit about smartphones, and my kids don't know shit about rotary phones.
Right.
We're on that. That's what makes us different as a generation. And the same thing has been happening with everything, whether it's music and culture and government and policies. Right. We know what it means. Me and you grew up
generation because just like you got the boomers, they
the boomers
mindset of
and then Generation Z, not Z, X, Generation X, who were teenagers in the 80s.
Right.
They were 18, 19 in the 80s. That Generation X, and then we came along, and shit changed, and then there was Generation Z, the Zoomers, and then Generation Alpha, which is our boys, Bishop and the twins. That's how that worked out.
Right, and this newest generation, they're going to grow up in a world where they're just going to accept all information that's fed to them without question.
Yeah, kind of.
Because the difference is with the boomers, they were in a generation where they questioned everything, and critical thought and scrutinizing was really important. Generation X was more on the information side of things, so it's question stuff, but at the same time gravitate towards the advanced society, and then you got
yes and no.
That are
we're more than that. So the boomer. Here's I agree and disagree. So here's the issue with that boomer.
Okay.
The baby boomers, which were 1945 to the early 60s, they were born. They grew up in the atomic age, which is right after World War II. Okay, new technologies come out. We're talking about the microwave was invented, TV dinners, television, radio was huge. It didn't start with them. The radio reached its golden age and prime during that time. Of course, they're going to challenge their parents because their parents had none of that.
Right.
They were born into that. All right, they're kind of like the Zoomers. Generation Z was born into internet, social media. They had all that, so they had no idea what it was like before that.
Yeah.
And so, right, the baby boomers, our parents, they were born into that. They, mass communication and rock and roll. This is the time we're talking about, the time where the electric guitar and the amplifier was invented. Where Les Paul was a person who performed, and that was a thing. Like, he made a guitar, which became, of course, legendary, but electric guitar and like, this is a new, completely new shit with the electrode and it's new shit, and that's what our parents did. Cool. And that was a thing. The next big industrial change was us, because you had, if you think about it, we had the Industrial Revolution, which was the early 1900s, which was, Carnegie and Vanderbilt and Ford and Frick and J.P. Morgan, and like all that stuff was like early 1900s. We're talking about like Titanic time, early as fuck. And then the next big, huge eruption was the atomic age, which was the 50s.
The
right after the atomic bomb. And then the next big one was us. Where we had the Silicon Valley, we had the microchip, we had all the stuff we were born into. You can't count the 80s, like the yuppies in the 80s, the people in Generation X. They caught it on the tail end, but for us, we grew up with having both the cassette tape and the CD and the MP3. We had the rotary phone with the car phone and brick phone to the smart screen. And like, we're in that cusp of time.
Right.
Yeah, so you get that. Like, we can do both things. We know how to write a check. We know how to use Cash App. We know how to, use a pencil on a cassette tape. We know how to pirate music, MP3s, stream. Like, we're comfortable with them both.
Right. The sad part is the last generation won't know where anything came from, because they won't even have the will to even care.
They won't. But what I'm saying is this: do you have the will to care what technology was in 1890? No.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
All right, here's a question. Do you know how to, if you had to install a ribbon in a typewriter without looking at YouTube or the internet, could you do it?
Yeah, because I had to do it when I did my homework in high school.
Okay, only because we have parents who did it and taught us. I know how to do it. Wait. How'd you learn
that would
if it wasn't from your grandparents or parents?
They didn't know how to do it. They just told you to do it and expect you to figure it out.
How to put a ribbon in a typewriter? Not one of those printers, but a typewriter.
Yeah.
See, I did that like 3 times in my lifetime.
Yeah, dude, man. The way my parents raised me, they just told me to do stuff and expected me to do it. And then whether I knew what I was doing or not, there was punishment that followed. That was old.
That's something that changed.
That's old school black parents right there.
Hey, Sherelle, there's a question. What's an old skill set that you have that the next generation will never have to utilize?
Well, you already mentioned the typewriter thing, and I remember writing on the typing on a typewriter as a kid. So that is definitely a thing. I'm not sure.
They be typing high as fuck though. They're like, when you type on a typewriter, I feel like your hands gotta go like up.
Cursive. Cursive is one.
Yeah.
And I hate the idea, and we talked about this before, but I hate the idea that there's a whole language or a way of writing that children will not be able to read. And I think that that's strategic. I think that is very strategic. So, if we keep these things to where they can't read it, then, certain documentation, whatever, they won't be able to decipher.
The art of picking up a writing utensil, period, is slowly disappearing.
You ain't lying.
It is.
If you see how
it
some
is.
of these kids write, some of them really cannot write or cannot spell.
It's going to become obsolete.
It's scary.
Yeah, that's why I was making within the context that as the generation goes on, it's literally getting dumber. Like the older generation
Is it?
knew
Literally.
stuff. They literally knew that stuff was.
Hey Shane, here's a question. Do you know Latin?
Brandon. You ain't let him.
All right, I will stop. Go ahead, go ahead and finish, Shane.
See, the older generation knew that stuff was changing, but not for the better. But we are alive to see how bad it actually got. And the thing about social engineering that a lot of people don't know because they don't take the time to learn about what social engineering is, it's just a slow process. So the majority of people don't notice the changes happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why I'm saying that in a lot of things, not just music, but entertainment and a lot of other stuff, all that substance that used to be there in older generations has purposely been removed to condition the masses to be morons.
Yeah.
And off of nothing but pure emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion
I
is
totally agree with
everything.
I don't know if I agree with that because, hey Shane, do you know what you know how to speak Latin?
Do I know how to speak Latin?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That was a common language, and now it's considered a dead language. You moved on from it. The progress. What I don't want to get stuck on is saying that progress is making us dumber.
Of technology, but a reduction in individual intellect.
Yeah.
Think about the culture of cyberpunk. That
Right.
is all about that. I mean, how the genre of cyberpunk is all about high technology, but low moral value and fiber.
So do you sacrifice one for the other? Though?
Huh?
Do you sacrifice one for the other?
Well, you don't have a choice when the society is going that way.
And that's the part I was trying to make mention of in one of our past episodes. Like, they're coming out with so much new stuff that if you don't even have a choice in the matter, if you don't want this new thing to come out, if you don't like it, like me, I hate that these kids aren't learning cursive. Mm-hmm. Hate it. I think it's stupid. But they didn't ask us what we thought about that. They didn't come in. They're not asking any of the older generation, hey, do you want a computer? Do you want to have to use?
Why would they ask us? Why would they ask us? What would we?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I don't like is these new things are constantly being forced on people all the time. You don't even get a choice in the matter of whether you want to use this or whether you don't, whether you like this new change, whether you don't. It's just,
hey, Sherelle, question. Do you like having a microwave?
I enjoy a microwave.
All right, but see, you understand there's a point in time where that was a forced technology, right?
I'm not saying that all forced technology is bad. I'm saying that there are now certain things that are coming out. You don't even get to be like, hey,
no, you don't.
This one's
That's
cool.
the condition that I'm talking about. Like, there's a trend that happens, and I'm trying. All right, and I know it's a fruitless effort. I'm trying to keep our generation up on this, and the same thing happened when Shane made a post about I don't get this TikTok thing, and I'm like, yo, you're sounding old.
Against it, I was.
Yeah, but Brandon, we don't have to like it.
I got you. You don't have to like it.
We don't have to like it. We don't have to enjoy it. We don't have to participate in certain things.
I understand this, but I told Shane, you're sounding old. And his response was, I'm getting old. And I was like, ah! And the reason I got frustrated was this.
Uh-huh.
You're the way in my mind, what you're saying when you're like, all right, I want you to understand something. I understand the sentiment of not knowing cursive. To me, it doesn't logically make total sense. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking all right, how do you sign for something you don't know cursive? Like you're back to slave times and making an X. You don't know what the fuck to do. Right, right. But we're at a point in time where eventually there won't be any physically signed anything. They're going to have digital signatures that aren't anything related to that.
Right.
And
there's an underlying skill. There's an underlying skill to writing in general. If you look at throughout history.
We're beyond that now.
Yeah, but we don't have to like being beyond that. That's the part.
Okay, so all right. So here's a question: have either of you ever gotten frustrated with someone of our baby boomer age or the greater generation for not embracing how things are now? Have you ever gotten frustrated ever?
No. Because I mean, the way I think, if someone's trying to tell me something that I don't understand, I've never been the person. I've never been the type of person to be dismissive. I want to try to understand what they're saying to see where the logic is, and then if I find no logic, I test stuff. If there's no logic and they're irrational, that's different.
All right. So you're telling me neither one of y'all have ever listened to an old person and said, "Hey, look, that doesn't make sense anymore because we moved beyond that"?
No. I've always tested what they had to say.
An old person, then it's like, okay, whatever. But like people, I don't know. That doesn't really bother me on the level that it seems to be bothering you.
It does, because I'm trying to help y'all I'm trying to help people my age avoid that. I'm trying hard.
But they might not want to avoid that. They might be comfortable where they are.
They say that now, but then all right, so
you gotta let people be where they are. Like I'm not cool with this, with the robots taking over every single thing. The stupid machine that was at McDonald's that's replacing these kids having a real job and learning how to communicate. I don't like that. I don't.
You sound like my mom.
I don't know how I feel about cars driving on their own. I'm kind of scared of that. I don't like the idea of it.
Oh my God! You do understand that that's already happened, right? Like,
who cares?
So this is what I'm like.
But just because it happened, don't mean I like it.
You know who George Orwell is? You know who George Orwell is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you know the quote, "He who controls the past controls the future"?
Yes.
Okay, so what does that mean to you?
To me, that is the understanding that the history repeats itself. The people who understand the past will understand what's going to happen in the future. And that's my frustration with this.
No, not understands the past, controls the past.
I understand control, all right. But it's not just understanding it. Yeah, you're right. It isn't controlling it. My frustration with this is a repetition situation. Mm-hmm. So the things that we accept as normal now has already happened in the same context that, you're saying, oh man, you know what?
Right. You're right.
Like having your own bagger at the grocery store, like that's taking a job. Like that's already happened previously that we're okay with now. So if you're going to be okay with it now, then you shouldn't be okay with it before. But if you're okay with it being now, then you should be okay with it going forward.
That's a real black and white.
You gotta look at it deeper than that. All right, based on what you said.
So
let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Let's roll with that. Let's roll with that. So she's talking about,
I can pick and choose what I like and what I don't, and what I want to use and what I don't want to use, and what
I got you.
What I don't think is necessary.
Here's a question. So for you, when the Koreans and the Japanese decided to put more automated systems in the production of cars in the 70s, do you feel just as passionate about that as when Henry Ford decided to do the assembly line and the Industrial Revolution, as you do with replacing jobs at the grocery store with the self-checkout lines.
Well, here's the question that you
Hold on, Shane, stop. I'm asking Sherelle.
Yeah, but you asking me this question. I keep telling you, I feel differently about different things. I don't feel the same about every single thing from the past.
So my question is, what's the difference?
I don't look at it. I look at it as a gray area. I don't look at it as this black and white thing.
So fine. So in the gray area, you tell me the difference between those three things that happen in America, and it's just this one country, not worldwide, not dealing with outsourcing the production to other countries. Just here, for you, how do you feel about those three things?
Right now, today, I don't care about it. Now, if we talk about some new things that's going on right now,
I presented three different things. I talked about the Industrial Revolution, then the production in the 70s.
I feel differently about different things, and it's certain things I feel are necessary, and some things I don't.
What's the difference?
And then that could change later on if I see this was a good idea. People change.
I got you. But I'm asking you right now, in your opinion today, this hour, this minute, what is the difference between the production in the Industrial Revolution, the change in the outsourcing in the 70s, and right now in 2020 with us and the let's call it the occupational hazard of outsourcing in 2020, which is part of the election issue. I'm asking you right now, what's the difference?
For me, it just depends. When you get specific in one or two, it just depends. That's where I'm leaving it at. For me, it just depends.
Can I answer the question?
All right, so we're on there. Shane, answer the question.
Okay. The first thing, and based on directly related to all this information, is why did those things happen? That's the first thing. The second thing is how are all those things correlated? And what? You look like you want to say something, Brandon.
Me? I look like I want to. All right, so we all know.
You waiting on me?
No, Shane, what's the biggest cost to every company?
The biggest cost?
Yep.
It's the people, because they're the primary.
Right. You are correct. The change in automation from the Industrial Revolution to the 70s and outsourcing, whatever, and even prior to that, as we know, was slavery, which is why it was a thing until the cotton gin. Shit. Anyways, was all about people. Labor is the biggest cost to every company. We know that. Not materials, it's not distribution, it's not marketing. Labor is the biggest cost to every single company.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And that's the number one thing they're trying to cut costs on without causing too much of a riffraff, a problem that causes, strikes and all that stuff. Which way you have unions? We have, they have rules against that. Like, that's the biggest thing, and that's what I'm discussing with y'all.
Right.
Because now technology has shifted the necessity for human labor when it comes to producing products and services for people.
Now, what is the direct result of doing that?
So the direct result is there's less specific jobs that require a particular skill set.
And on a mass scale, what's the result of that?
All right, so on the mass scale, what it normally results in is that the business economy requires a different set of skill set than what the education is putting out. Education normally is behind schedule.
Now, I'll make it easier for you. What
Go
results
ahead.
in that is job loss and poverty. And that
Right.
is
That's only
everybody.
because it doesn't meet the. I'm telling you, it doesn't meet the demand. It doesn't meet the demand. Education, the education industry with colleges doesn't meet the demand of the economic requirements
Now I'm gonna tie
of
this
the
all
company.
together, right?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna bring all this full circle, but you gotta let me finish.
I won't say nothing.
Okay, so if automation takes off and you have all these systems and services that require less and less people to be involved, right? So now you have people in this country that can't even afford to get the products and services that are in this country because nobody has any jobs. Now, there are people from the previous generation that had understood this and they were trying to teach the younger generation, but no, let me finish. But what was slowly happening is through the entertainment and the educational system, it has been dumbing down the general populace to slowly become docile and accept the way things are going. So when the older generation dies off and our generation dies off, and then the generation right after ours dies off, now you have a population of people that have been conditioned to be dependent on this automated society that has gone cashless.
What he said.
All right, listen. So there's
That's
nothing different.
answering the question that
That's
we have as
nothing.
well.
But that's nothing different than what's happened so far.
But
Like, I need
it's
something
been
different.
happening over the past 100 years.
Yes,
But
it has.
and just to bring in the writing thing, because I wanted to finish making this point before. In some countries, they're actually outright outlawing writing because it has a direct tie to physical combat and the ability to defend oneself.
Mm,
Like writing is an extension of swordplay.
mm.
They're already
Well,
taking
yeah.
guns out of circulation in many countries. So, like, if 9 times out of 10, anybody that can do calligraphy or write in cursive has the ability to wield a weapon with precision.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I'm worried. I will so do work for these
And it
countries.
connect. There's some spiritual connections in writing as well, like law of attraction, that kind of stuff.
yeah, I mean, the youngest generation doesn't even care to
Yeah,
know
cursive is sexy.
any of these things because it's an instant gratification society. No
Yeah,
one
they
wants
don't
to
care. They
learn
don't
or
know how
take
to.
the time to understand anything. They just want stuff instantly, right? Like right now, you know. And that's part of the reason why I don't date, because it's like the people I meet, it's like they want a microwave relationship just like that. And it's like if I don't like break them off a whole bunch of money instantly, they lose interest real fast.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's social engineering. It's been happening for the past 100 years. I mean, if you think about it, the
Yeah.
transition from
The
parent to
atomic age changed everything. Are y'all not keeping up?
yeah, and they won't even know. They won't even have a clue of what's happening.
Well, that's on
They're
them.
not. They're no longer
So,
They're
being
being led
trained to
so
critically.
that's the issue.
to
I
be
have a big issue
controlled
with
in
that.
every way, shape, and form with the technology.
I don't have an issue with things changing. I'm trying to like have our generation, the senior millennials, keep up.
It's not that you
And
should take an issue with it. It should be more that you should be aware of it. You know what I mean?
I'm aware. Oh wait, that's how aware of it I am. I'm aware of it.
Yeah, people should be aware of things.
I'm trying to keep y'all up on what's happening. I'm
Yeah,
trying
but
to.
you might be up on what's happening. You might know what's going on. That don't mean that you, like I said, that doesn't mean that you like and enjoy everything you see that's happening.
But I'm trying to keep y'all up. Like, for real, like I know we talked about earlier. Like when Shane made the post, like I don't get TikTok, and I'm like, yo, you sound old right now. Like and we engage in this conversation. I was trying to keep them up on this thing. I'm trying to keep y'all up on stuff because I don't want us to become our parents, knowing that eventually it will happen.
But Brandon,
you gotta understand that when
Brandon,
it's a young way to think it, to see something and just assume just a blanket thought right off the bat. Like if like me as an older person, if I say I don't understand something, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't like it or I don't think it's cool or any of that stuff. What I say is what I say. I speak plain. Whereas the newer generation, they will say everything but not mean anything they're actually saying.
Yeah, and then what I try to do is I try to relate what we did as our generation to try to get you to understand what the next generation wants to do. There's nothing new about what we did or what the next generation or the previous generation wants to do. There's nothing new in the concept.
Yeah, I mean, the world is changing. It is changed before. We know that.
Well, the difference now is the next generation has no desire to do anything. They're just along for the ride.
You understand, like every generation has said exactly what you're saying right now, right?
Yes.
So, okay, by saying that nullifies what you're saying.
There's a little more proof in the pudding. Because Generation Z has no desire to work, and you know I work with them every day. They have no desire to work. They have no desire to fill out an application. They have no desire. Like, the proof is in the pudding. Right?
You say that. Okay, all right. At the same time, Sherelle, I need you to understand that when you say that no desire to work, the same thing happened when the greatest generation, the ones that did World War II, when the baby boomers decided that they were going to be hippies and Black Panthers and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they said the exact same thing. They don't want to work. They don't want to do this. They're trying to do all this shit.
Brandon, remember we was talking earlier and you added in the X in the equation and you said, oh, it's the same thing. And I said, no, you threw in an X. So that changes it.
There's two types of people in each generation. In each generation, there's the people that go along for the ride, and then there's the people that ask the question, why are things like that? They question that. So
I'm still trying to ask why.
So you're not asking why. You're giving a definitive explanation that's supposed to cover everything, and you can't generalize everything. That's what you're doing.
No, that's what I've been trying to say. Like, you can't generalize all of these situations.
If Louis Gossett Jr. was trying to tell me something, and he's old school as hell.
He is.
Now, something that I didn't quite understand, right? And I wasn't getting his perspective. The type of person I am, I'm going to ask, so, Louis, why do you say that? But someone who isn't on my wavelength that even cares, i.e. the person going along for the ride, they'll be like, yeah, whatever, old man, it's a new generation. And then, so what results from that is ignorance.
You're trying to keep us from being like your parents, it sounds like. Because my parents aren't old. My parents are with the times. My parents are only 20 years younger than me. My dad's only 18 years younger than me.
All right, you say that. But by the way, pause. Hold on, Sherelle. If I told your dad right now to go on Pirate Bay,
that still exists.
It does.
Wow.
Wait, see, hold on. See, that's what I'm talking about. If I told your dad right now to go on Pirate Bay and download the entire discography for Lil Wayne, would he know what to do?
Lil Wayne?
I wouldn't even know what to do. I never had Pirate Bay.
Right, but see, wait, and Shane's laughing because he knows that's already old. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you forget I'm from Ohio. I've had a whole different set of experiences, different things that were important, that were
Wait,
certain things that
pause.
were in.
It don't matter if
That-
it's from Ohio or not.
Yeah,
That
but what I'm
wasn't a
saying is
fair
we
question.
never used that where I'm from.
Yes, you did. You didn't.
I didn't. So but what I'm saying is my parents aren't really old. Like, you know what I'm
They're
saying?
not.
For the most part, there's a
Brandon.
couple things that they are not into, but for the most part, they're pretty with the times.
That wasn't a fair question because you asked her a question which she has no perspective on anyway.
Perspective,
all.
she should. Wait. All right. It's the same perspective as knowing what Napster is, LimeWire, all those. The same perspective.
only
There are people from my generation that don't know what that is. Why?
Yeah.
Because they have no perspective on it. They're not into those things. They have no affinity to even think about certain. It's like me, if I talk to somebody about, putting a turbocharger on a car, they drive a car, but they know nothing about automotive.
All right, Sherrod, you know what Napster is?
We used more of LimeWire than Napster. I didn't use
Okay,
much of
but
Napster.
you know what Napster is, but you use them in line. See, that's what negates what you're saying, Shane. They know what it is. But if she would have asked her parents, her dad,
My mom would know how to use LimeWire because we used to have it.
she know how to use LimeWire right now.
She had Facebook before me. She, my mom is kind of up. She knows what's going on.
Sort of.
All of that.
Sort of. All right.
Everything is relative.
It really is.
Extremely relative.
I grew up somewhere totally different.
I'll explain that.
And I'm trying to. All right. And like for real, I feel it's a hopeless cause. I'm really trying to keep the millennials that I know from becoming our parents with the shit that we do.
You're trying to keep them from becoming your parents.
All right, fine. You say that. You say I'm trying to keep from becoming my parents.
Because because you have much older parents, correct?
I do.
I remember you saying that. How much older are they than you?
They were very old compared to me.
Yeah, like I said, my mom is 55.
All right, my mom was turning 70.
Yeah, my mom was
dad,
born in 1961, and my dad was born.
My mom was born in 1950.
So
my dad is 53.
You out both of us as far as old parents.
Yeah, I don't have that.
All right, I got y'all beat on that. But what I don't want you to do.
Like we don't.
Okay, all right. So here I don't.
I think we could date the same people. Like we're literally at that age of being like.
All right. I don't want where y'all. I don't want y'all to get to the point where y'all don't know what's going on. Like, I don't want y'all to get to that point.
Well, that's not going to happen because I just told you from the beginning that I question everything. So how would I be ignorant?
Just because you question shit doesn't mean you understand what's going on.
Well,
it ain't even that I don't always understand it. Sometimes I just don't like it.
Well, the person
that's something else. The comfortability of taking the learning curve. How comfortable are y'all taking the learning curve?
No, it's some things I'm cool with. It's certain things I'm not. And that's all.
What do you do with the things you're not?
Complain about them and go on because they don't care. They're still.
All right, so that's when y'all become the old people. Damn it, y'all become the old people when y'all start doing that shit.
To me. That's expressing an opinion of
all right.
What I like and don't
eventually,
like.
All right, I got you. But eventually, you became the old people that don't like the fact that we can't write checks anymore or use stamps or like all that shit. It was like, I don't like it because.
But I'm trying to get you to understand. You never asked the question, why are these people against certain things?
Because of familiarity. They're familiar with it.
You're assuming that. You're assuming that.
I asked them.
No, you're making an assumption that they're just old, and that's it.
I asked them why they don't want to move forward. They're like, well, I know this. I know it works. I'm comfortable. I asked this question.
Brandon, it's moving forward to you.
Yeah, see,
Some people, their perception is, oh, this is a step backwards.
no.
Like
The thing is, it's like I find this, and I've known Brandon a long time. Brandon can ask somebody something, and then they try to answer him definitively in relation with what he's asking, and then he will cut them off and force feed them his definition. And that's where the frustration comes in. You're not listening to the people you're talking to.
All right. So let me listen to y'all.
Active listening.
Active. I will nod and respond.
Yeah, because I mean that's you've done that a lot. You be like, Shane, how come you don't like cherry ice cream? And I'll be like, because it's a little too sweet. No, it's not too sweet. It's because you're old.
It's not.
Shane, I would like to welcome you back to the podcast anytime you choose.
Let's bring it. I'm bringing it, yo. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it because, like, all right. I understand what you're saying about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get you on the trends of this. I don't want y'all to be on a situation where your kids and your grandparents are telling y'all, like, y'all ain't up on the new shit.
Right. Well, all right. You want to advance yourself, right? The best way
I want to advance y'all with me.
See, he did it again.
No, I want to corral. I want to advance y'all with me. Y'all like, no, fuck that. I want to be old.
No, nobody's like, no, fuck that.
We never said that. You just keep over talking both of us.
All right. I'm gonna shut up because.
So the best way to get people to get on board with you is just to let them. You can't force them. The moment you start dragging people with you, they ain't gonna want to be with it. You got to give people the chance to really feel out for themselves.
So I got to feel good about it. Whether or not it makes sense or not,
no,
you got to feel good about it.
At all. You said that.
You said the word feel. You said feel.
People need grace and space to learn and to grow. You got to give them the grace and space to grow.
The space is there.
You can plant the seed. Hey, you should check out this. That's your only job, is to plant the seed. I mean, when they grow is when they decide to grow.
I mean, because check this. I have 3 businesses. Okay, so
cool.
If you know, I'm old if I'm not trying to do nothing to survive. You know,
right?
But I am, so, and it's tough. It's like by the time lunchtime comes around, I'm ready to take a nap, and it's not because I'm old, it's because I'm already tired. But yeah, it's like it. And I've just learned this over the past 15 years. If you really want people to like really kind of relate to you, you just have to kind of let them be. You know what I mean? And then they'll make the decisions for themselves.
See, that's the issue I have though.
Let me finish.
They make decisions for themselves, and then they decide to be old.
Because most people that want to grow, they want to learn about what they're growing towards first. You know what I mean?
The issue I have with this is the same people that decided. I'm talking to the people that decided 10 years ago that they wanted to never get old.
Well, nobody wants to get old.
Oh, okay. Right. So then I'm like, hey, this is what's happening right now. They're like, well, that sucks. Well, you never want to get old. This is what's happening right now.
I don't feel a need for a Snapchat. I don't feel a need for it personally.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean
I
that.
I have Snapchat, and I understand what it is.
I don't have it. I've never had it. I don't have no desire to have it. I do have TikTok though. I have that. I've posted videos. I've participated in that. I have Instagram. I can't think of nothing else. I have to pick and choose for myself what I feel is necessary and what I don't.
I got you. I can explain to you why the Snapchat exists. You want to know why Snapchat exists?
I understand why it exists. That's the thing. Like, just because
I can tell you what I was told why Snapchat exists. It was supposed to be a reincarnation of the Vines, but that's what somebody told me.
No, it came before Vine.
Vines.
It came before Vine. The reason why Snapchat exists is because it was the answer to doing things on social media without having to worry about it being in cyberspace forever. Now it's changed since then, but there was the answer to that situation. So us having Facebook and MySpace and all those things, it was like, okay, can I do something on social media and connect with my network without having it to be there forever? And
Okay, that's
Snapchat
fine.
did it.
That's
Okay.
fine. And I still don't feel the need to have one or care about it or feel like it's necessary. Now I understand that
I
others.
understand where you're coming from, Sherelle, because most people, they gravitate towards things that have some sort of benefit for them, or else they don't deal with it. It's just that simple. It has nothing to do with not wanting to be in the know. It's just that, okay, is this beneficial to me in my life in any capacity? If not, I don't need it.
Yeah, that's it.
You
And
know?
don't mean that you don't understand it. Don't mean that it doesn't mean any of that.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, if we go rewind a little bit to the to like old generation versus new generation, I remember some new artist I was talking crap about Prince, saying that
Oh no! Wait, what?
yeah. He was saying, I'm gonna have to paraphrase because it was this long ago. He was saying that, you know, like who is Prince to me? You know, it's like he ain't got skills. And then wait, and it's like,
Oh
okay,
my God!
Prince plays 11 instruments.
44. You're way short.
Okay, but that's still proving my point. Prince is like musically a god compared to this mumble rapper that was talking crap. You know what I mean?
Yes, he's a god to most musicians
And that bolsters my point that the most recent generation does not have a willingness to want to understand everything because, and this is where you kept cutting me off, they don't want to question anything. They just go along with it.
All right. Okay. So this is kind of where I get frustrated because yes and no. So I understand I definitely all the way as a Prince fan to the fullest, and in our generation, I understand what you're saying.
Now, I don't want to say that's everybody in the most recent generation.
No, I'm not even saying that.
Not
it's
true.
just I like our generation did the same thing though. That's where frustration comes with.
Yeah,
With our generation not understanding with the same thing.
And
so,
I illustrated that.
Right.
And every generation
I
is
have a hard time with that because I feel like our generation, some of us kind of paid homage to the ones like I'm thinking of music. Like you had
okay, there's the context right there. So we'll stay on that.
Okay. Yeah. They paid homage to the people that was before, like the singing groups, the boy bands. They were thinking of the some of the older male groups, the Temptations. They thought of them and copied their work. You know, Michael Jackson was looking at James Brown, and that you hear them saying this, like from you hear them actually saying, "Oh, I used to look at this person. I used to watch this." But this new generation, they won't even claim that they've ever seen.
This
anybody.
new generation don't even know what day it is because they're just sipping lean all day.
They can't tell time on a unless it's a digital clock.
And there's nothing acceptable about that at all. There shouldn't be anything acceptable about that.
All right, I'll give you an example. Okay. When you say this, gotcha. Listen, I want you to answer this question.
Okay.
Who invented the moonwalk?
The dude from from the Shalimar. I was about to say the name wrong.
I couldn't tell you.
His
All
name.
I can tell you is
sorry to cut. It's one of the Soul Train dancers from I believe the group Shalimar. He
Right,
created the
right,
dance, and then he
right.
taught Michael
Okay, so
Jackson.
Sherelle is right.
Okay.
But our generation, so Sherelle, she's a musician, she loves music, she's on the same level I'm at, cool. But if you ask the regular non-musician
Mm-hmm.
about the moonwalk, you say, moonwalk, what are they gonna say? Shane, what are they gonna say about the moonwalk? I'm asking you, you're not a musician per se. If I say moonwalk to who you gonna say?
All right, I'm gonna give you an honest answer. When you ask me that question, that automatic, since I'm a critical thinker and I question everything, the first thing I thought is, why would he ask me that question if Michael Jackson didn't do it?
He didn't.
So I didn't say that. I answered with
But you don't know. And here's a question. How much do you care? For answering the question. Who did it then?
I was trying to tell you, if Michael Jackson didn't do it, I don't know. My answer.
You don't know. My question. Part of my question is, why do you care? Like, do you care who other than Michael Jackson invented like the moonwalk itself?
I'm trying to tell you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So I was saying, if you ask me that question, that must mean it's a possibility Michael Jackson didn't do it. All I could say is I could tell you who I saw do it first, but who was it? And now to answer your question, why would I care? Because that would be interesting if Michael Jackson wasn't the one who invented it. It would be interesting to know.
All right. Who was the first one? Who was the first one who did the moonwalk?
What Sherelle said?
Oh, I'm asking you.
You asking me?
I'm asking you. So Sherelle is correct,
I can only
but
speak for myself. My instinctual answer would be I don't know. Because if you're going to answer that, if
you
you're gonna
don't know.
that question, if you're going to ask me that question, I'm not going to assume that it's somebody else. If you're going to ask me a question that generally most people would say that, that's just me.
Right. Yeah, correct. So it's not Michael Jackson, whatever.
Right.
The reason why I asked you that question is less about Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk, is more about the mentality people have towards that type of situation. So Jeffrey Daniel of the Shirelles. What?
I got a similar question. Who invented the 1-inch punch?
Sure. It was not Bruce Lee. It was not. He learned it from somebody.
Okay.
I don't know.
Again, same approach. Same approach with that. Wait.
Right, now you understand where I was coming from. So the 1-inch punch.
Right, I do. And I'm trying. The whole point of this is trying to tell you that you and me and even Sherelle, we have a curiosity about the people that develop the thing that we know is iconic and classic, and it's that thing. Like we all know, despite who invented the damn moonwalk, doesn't matter as much as the fact that it's Michael Jackson's iconic fucking thing. All right, and we have a situation where we have generations that don't, especially now, that don't care where it came from. And it was bad during our generation, but it's even worse now. They don't give a fuck what the origin is. They care more about
that's what I've been saying.
Who made it a thing. And
I won't even say that because some of them don't even know it's a thing.
They don't know where they are.
The boy said I listened to Oprah.
And I'm trying.
I listened to R&B.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you said that, and me and you laughed.
And that the moonwalk is like some iconic dance.
Yeah, and me and you laugh about that because we know better than that. But I'm trying to get our generation to understand that we have also done that to our parents. And I think a lot of people don't understand that situation. Like,
it's been done
like,
before,
all
but
right,
it still evolves in its own way. It's not the exact same thing. It's not.
all right.
Because you
Yes
added
and
in
no.
that,
Well, let's see. I
remember,
kind of
like I said, you added in that X to the equation. There's always that extra thing that kind of changes it just a little
there
bit.
is.
So now we have,
So why is
now
it
we
that
have,
our generation
now we
can't know
have,
what that X is?
there are some similarities, but now we have the internet and technology to
All
deal
right,
with.
which makes it
That
worse to me.
changes.
To me, it makes it worse. It makes it worse because, yes, we have the internet. Now we have access to all the information that we ever wanted to know about everything, and we still don't know it. Like, the fact that, all right, for us as black people, the Soul Train line, and we do it at the fucking family reunions and parties and shit, that actually started as a white thing before us. And, well, sorry. But we don't even know that or talk about that, or like it's not a thing. Like, before it was the Soul Train line at the damn family reunions and in parties, it was known as the stroll, and it happened in the 50s, and the white folks did it, and we did it better. People don't even talk about that shit. They don't know about it. They don't care about it. It was a thing.
Now,
And this is time when, like,
why didn't they care
the
about
brown paper bag test was a situation where you can't go to the party unless you were light enough. Like, this is all right. This is the type of thing, and man, I can be by myself. If I'm by myself, I'm fine. It bothers the fuck out of me. Like, we're
why do
doing shit that we don't even know what the context or history of
why
what we're doing.
why do you feel that so many people are in our generation don't care about understanding things?
Because they don't know it already. So, all right, that's the reason why I'm saying that shit. The reason I say that the like, you know, Google and Wikipedia and all having internet has made my feeling worse about it is because now we have more access to more information than we ever had before, and people are choosing not to dive into it. It's there. Before, there was the excuse of I didn't know, I didn't have access. Now you got fucking access, and you still choose not to know. And
You got to get out of Pittsburgh for a while, bro.
dude, I can come to Detroit. Fine, let's go to Detroit. I can come where you're at, and I'm probably. Oh, I know I live in Detroit. Just Detroit. I don't want to go to the rest of y'all state. Y'all rest of y'all state is fucked up. Just Detroit.
No. I don't hang out in Detroit. Detroit is trash. The rest of the state, you'll get some exposure.
All right. So, all right. I'm willing to do that. Even if it's that situation, though, we have access to the entire world of information more than we've ever had in human history. All the seas, all the continents, all the thoughts and everything. We have access to all these things, and there's people who choose just not to know.
That's why I'm saying you just got to get out of Pittsburgh for a while.
God damn it!
Long enough to know
I want to punch somebody. Like, it aggravates the fuck out of me. Like, when, and I know my personality type is different because I'm ENTP, and I'm like,
spend a week, right? You know, bring Bishop. We'll just chill. Because out here, where I live, check this out. The Clarence, you see those on a regular basis.
What?
Where do you live, Shay?
In Detroit.
No, I don't live in Detroit. I live in the Pontiac, Auburn Hills, Rochester Hills area of Michigan.
Which is close to what major city?
It's like 30 miles from Detroit. But if you know
All right, Detroit. So then you live in Detroit, and
if you know anything about Michigan,
I don't. There's lakes.
and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, and
You
y'all vote for Trump.
Pontiac, right? Drive 15 miles one direction, and it's abandoned everything. Drive 15 miles in the other direction, you'll see the most beautiful houses you've ever seen. You ever seen a 4-story house with a garage?
Yes.
With a garage that's 5,600 square feet, just the garage.
Yeah, we got those in Pittsburgh.
But you don't have them with the deals that they have around here. I always get invited to these events called car guy houses or something like that. There was this house. It had a what was it? I want to say it was a 3,500 square foot garage, and that was just a garage. You could fit 7 cars in it, and it still had a 3-bedroom house, 1 level, full basement that was just as big as the garage, and the house was only $350,000.
That's what's up. If I come to see you in Detroit, I'm going to Hitsville. We're going to first stop. Hitsville, USA. I got to stop by.
What, Hicksville? Did you say Hicks?
No, not Hicks. Hitsville. Hitsville, Hitsville, USA.
Okay.
Please tell me as a black person you know what that is.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sherelle, what is... There we go. Let's say, Sherelle, what's Hitsville, USA?
You talking about the hood?
Come on. No, I'm talking about fucking Motown. We're talking about Marvin Gaye, Temptations. We're talking about...
oh!
Yes, Hitsville, USA.
Okay.
All
right, we gotta wrap it up. We've been on here since 9 o'clock.
I know. There's so much to cover now. All right, we're gonna stop.
I can take you to Motown.
Yeah, I know. You know, we're gonna do it. Going 100. Wait. All right. What speed is your car max out at right now?
Well, I gotta get a new ECU because the one I have is limited right now. And
okay, beyond all the equipment that you wish you had and want to have, because we know that me and you know that car is never done. There's always some shit we want to have extra. Right now, what did your car do?
0 to 60, 5.6 seconds.
Top speed.
160.
All right. We're gonna do 140 to go to Motown. All right, because me and you both know that it's never enough. It's never like, I'm done with this car. It's done. No, it's not. Ever. So,
all right, Brandon, final thoughts.
Yeah, you definitely got to come out here. There's like car meets all the time.
Well, yeah.
All the time.
It's Detroit. It's Motor City. Like, there are plenty of songs about the city being about cars. That's just music. Yes, I already know.
And out here they believe Slim Shady is the rap god and all that.
Well, 8 Mile, I mean, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I completely disagree, but hey.
What?
He's dope, but I don't know.
All right. We'll talk about that later because we only got another 3 hours to talk about this.
We eat him alive in a cipher with no problem.
All right. So, final thought is that I do not wish for our generation to lose the momentum and mentality of being able to be adaptable to an old generation and a new generation. And I would like to continue to try to keep us in that balance. So that's my final thought. So that's why I get frustrated. Because I want to keep us there. And when people tell me, well, I'm getting old now.
No, man.
Oh, my God.
You're fine. You just need to get out of Pittsburgh for a while. That place is the Twilight Zone.
I can get out, and that's fine. We can do that. But I'm tired of hearing people that are like, I'm too old now. I want to take a nap, and I want to just listen to 90s hip hop.
Look, when I was
done.
in Pittsburgh, I would talk to people, and they would say stuff with such lack of intelligence that it would look like their eyes were pointing in two different directions.
I got you, but I never want to hear again about they're too old for something. I don't want like we're not that too old generation. I don't think we are.
No, I used to work at the Best Buy on McKnight Road, and there was a woman who was 65 working in the tech department, and she knew more than I did about computers. I learned stuff from her.
Got you. So, and there are definitely those rare gems, for sure. There are definitely but I'm telling you,
at
lately,
the time I was thinking to myself, it's like she was around when the abacus was invented. How can she know?
There are those people but then lately I've been hearing people want to take naps and wake up earlier, and they don't want to party, and they just and then they talk about politics.
That's got to do with where their priorities lie personally.
I don't know about that.
I love a good nap.
Yo, what?
I take a nap almost daily.
Almost. Did you do that when you were 14?
I have to take a nap because I can't keep my eyes open.
See, right. So, but all right. Even beyond the physical requirements.
Okay.
We're talking about people that we're at the point. Yeah, we're at the point where they have shut themselves off, though. So you listening to the oldie station on the radio, whatever. But when it comes to saying you shut yourself off to new trends, new information, new understandings, that's when I started having a problem, man. Like,
that's just a product of being in Pittsburgh too long. You're outgrowing that place. You need to get out.
Yeah, you're too ambitious for Pittsburgh.
You know what though? I've traveled to 11 countries. I've been to 11 countries, and I can't say that I feel that humans are different anywhere else.
Yeah, but traveling somewhere and living somewhere is two different things.
It is.
When you travel somewhere, you're still traveling with your same mindset, your same mentality. And
you haven't said
so
that.
Where should I go? Where am I going with the newest shit?
Imposing your own day-to-day traditions and lifestyles and thoughts into where you are. You're not taking in their culture when you go.
You're 100%, Sherelle. And I know this because I've known a few celebrities, and it's like when they decide to detach and just leave, they come back with a new perspective on stuff because they had time to actually slow down and reprocess.
Yeah.
So where am I going that got the newest shit though? I don't want to go.
It's not about having the newest shit. It's about getting out of where you are.
Have you ever lived anywhere but Pittsburgh?
No, I haven't.
There you go. I've lived in like 3 or 4 different states.
Okay. And then I'm gonna ask you right now, what's the music that was released last week?
The music that I don't listen to the radio.
Okay,
yeah, but he's not a music guy. You can't ask him about that.
I mean, what's your purpose for asking me a question about what's on the radio?
My question is this, though. My question, wait. And I ain't about to be on the radio. Fuck the radio. The radio is always 3 months behind anyways.
Yeah, and plus, living in different cities, I know that when you go from one city to the other, radio stations play totally different stuff.
They do. But you know what, though? Here's the issue, though. It ain't about terrestrial radio. That's my issue here right now. Fuck terrestrial radio because everything's available anywhere. It doesn't even matter about where I live necessarily. If the culture doesn't change where I'm regularly interacting, and that
it ain't going to change unless it gets gentrified. Seriously.
Okay, so something else I've had a huge problem with is when someone's like, "Oh man, you gotta come to Miami, you gotta come to Atlanta because the nightlife is different." And then I'll ask them, So they're like, oh man, we gotta come to the nightclubs. And I did like 10 years ago. This was a question. I asked them, hey, look, so your nightclubs are different than loud music, lighting, and bars. And, well, not really, but you got to experience it. No, it's the same shit.
No, it's not, Brandon. That's why he's saying you need to move.
Yeah, I'm not talking about nightclubs.
It's a progressive. It's a different mindset, and you guys, if you only know that you can only challenge your mindset when you're around other people who don't.
My question, all right, and all right. So
I've been gone for 10 years.
So what's all right? You live in Germany.
It's a crab in a barrel mindset where I'm from. But I've been gone for 10 years. I moved here, then I moved out the country.
Yeah, and I'm asking you, all right, so you live in Germany.
It's completely different. Like you won't know unless you are submerged in a different culture.
Okay, so I'm asking you live in Germany, right? What's the difference? You did, for sure amount, in that short amount of time, tell me how it's different about having a stage with the sound system and the crowd. What's different in every place in the world?
The energy is different. The appreciation for the music is different. The reasons why people are there is different. The pay you get is different. It's a different experience completely.
All right, I'm gonna have to just take y'all for your word and just do it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not what you think.
So far, every time I've asked that question and I've gotten down to the actual math of it or the logic of it, it's the same shit.
Well,
it's the same.
It's the same shit because you're looking at it from a mindset of only having been here around people who think like you.
Well, what Brandon is saying, this is what I hear when he's saying. He's saying, it sounds like he's asking me, what's the difference from your toilet bowl versus my toilet bowl? And I'm trying to say, get out the bathroom. Get out the damn bathroom. We ain't going back to the bathroom nowhere. We're trying to look at the rest of the goddamn house.
I like that, Shane.
All right.
That's a wonderful,
I go somewhere else.
But
you know what? You know what? If I go somewhere and the bathroom sucks, what the fuck?
I'm not taking you to the bathroom, man. I'm taking you to the damn tennis court.
Where am I going? So right there, where am I going? Am I going to Germany? Going to Detroit? Where am I going? Where the bathroom don't suck, because the bathroom sucks here.
Man, you're gonna come here and you're gonna be like, I've never seen an ACR Viper in my life till now.
Well, yeah, it's Detroit. I know it. So the thing is, I know I'm getting to Detroit. I know what I'm getting when I get there in terms of automotive life. Definitely, like
especially if you roll with me, like my car is not like a super powerful car. It's not an expensive car.
Yeah, what the fuck ever. When you were here, do you not remember us being on the road, like racing between Homestead and Kennywood, and our ears popped because of the air pressure changing because of how fast we were fucking going?
Well,
we were going like 140 on Ardmore Boulevard. So yeah, and this is years later. I know your shit now is beyond that.
Yeah, you might want to wear a neck brace.
See what I mean? Right.
Like, I actually have a Snell-approved helmet when I go to the track.
Yes. So I'm ready for that experience. I'm done with this one.
Beyond that though, I know there's places like let's see, Royal Oak.
Sure.
I'm just speaking from a single man perspective. There's lots of yoga pants walking around. All right, let me stop.
Well, all right, not a single man, so I can't do that.
Oh. Okay.
No. But okay, I definitely want to take a trip to Detroit and see what's going on.
There's a place that's got dueling pianos that's pretty dope here too.
I'm always down for that. I'm always down for dueling pianos.
And let's see,
Always.
lots of places with unique food.
Yeah.
Some of them are overrated. Like I had a $16 cheeseburger before. I wasn't too impressed.
$16 cheeseburger?
Yeah, it was this
Scam.
well, yeah, it's a scam. I didn't know it was $16 until after I bought it. It's one of those places where it's got the menu but no prices. No, because
Hey,
I was
Brandon.
coming from this car meeting. There was like 30 of us, and it was like, yo, let's go out to get something to eat. So we went to this place called Owl.
Got you.
The burger was good, but it's like the fact that it cost $16 kind of took some of the
Yeah. Hey Sherelle, what's up? You ready to end this? We got to cut this off. It's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna do this again next week.
All right,
But,
sounds good. Just send me the link. Hey, Sherelle, you on Facebook? You're on mute. You're on mute, Sherelle. Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
somebody called me in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting that you have a closed-minded perception of moving somewhere or finding out the scene is different in Miami or wherever. How is it different from what I'm already used to? It's interesting that you have that mindset with that, but you can't understand the mindset of a person who's like, I don't need that technology. I'm cool with what I have. What's the point of having that? It's the same thing. It's just a different topic. It's still it could be a closed-mindedness there, and it's a non-progressive ideology, that's still there.
okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree with what you're saying because you're right. It is. And let me say, I ask people, okay, what's the difference? And they'll mention something, and then I will match it with what's here. I was like, well, we got that here. And they'll, we got this. I'm like, well, we got that here.
Like,
and then the only difference, the only difference they mention that is consistent is the timing. So in Pittsburgh, we close early compared to some other countries. Like, we go to New York, New York, it'll be open till forever, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
The mindset is different. The opportunities are different, the this and that. But it's no different from when you say, like, we need smartphones, and that person's like, oh, I'm cool with the flip phone.
No, it's not, because when I say, hey, the smartphone does this, and they're like, well, we can't do that. But if I say,
can't do that, but it's still a phone, and it still calls. It does the same thing.
It doesn't.
Phone because they don't want the bill. It's not because they don't want the technology.
But all right, when I asked them, when they said, oh, you got to come down to the, because I've had this discussion. They'd be like, oh, man,
the problem is that they didn't explain it to you in a way that you enjoyed. When you have the research in the palm of your hand, that you could look it up for yourself to see what the differences are.
But when I ask someone, okay, the nightlife, what's the difference? And then, we talk about it, and I asked them the question of, well, there's loud music, colorful lighting, and alcohol. What's the difference? And they're like,
because they can't
and they don't have nothing
that you like, or that you understand.
All right,
you got to talk to the people that have some exposure outside of your own, because it seems like you're talking people that have the same limited experiences as you. So there's not anything they can tell you that you don't already know. You got to talk to them.
But they're so passionate. They're so passionate about, you got to experience Miami. I'm like,
maybe they
what you got?
The words about what, maybe they can't articulate it.
You're asking people that only know about toilets, but not the rest of the house. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. All right. And I would love to have an experience beyond that.
With my final thought, I'm just pointing out that there's some similarity there.
Yeah. I would love to experience someone who can express why I should go around the world and not just go to Vegas.
Oh, you don't even have to go to around the world. You just got to get out of Pittsburgh.
There's a certain mentality, a certain mindset that is here that when you reach a certain space, it becomes
It's a black hole. It's a black hole.
It becomes like a detriment. Like, honestly, I'm thinking about moving. I've been here 10 years. I'm thinking about moving. It's time.
Okay.
But this was a step forward from where I grew up at.
Maybe I'm not looking for a step forward. I'm looking for the spot.
Yeah, you just need someplace new. That's where all your frustration is coming from, is because you're outgrowing Pittsburgh. It's time to move on.
I got you. To where, though? To where that doesn't have these issues?
Well, there is no place that doesn't have issues.
Okay.
There are places
They're going to have their own set of
give
issues.
you different experiences that will grow you as a person. It'll give you different perspectives, because not every place has the same culture.
They don't. I definitely agree with that, though, and I'm looking for a situation where...
Like, when I first moved here, I was amazed at the fact that in a lot of the areas, when you walk down the street, just doing that, people actually greet you. They look at you.
I'm not worried about that part.
They don't know you from a can of paint. Hey, how you doing? I'm from New York.
Yeah,
You're not worried about that till you go into a place and they treat you differently than what you're used to being treated.
What I don't want to do is go someplace.
Changes. Your mentality changes. What you think you can accomplish in a day will change just
you
because
gotta
of
open
the
yourself
cultural
up.
Environment.
But
one,
I don't want to go to someplace and feel like I could stay in Pittsburgh for this, and I don't want to go someplace and feel, damn, y'all were slower than what I'm used to dealing with. And the only reason I say that because like Shane knows I deal with my boy Alan. Alan was from Pittsburgh. He went to Japan, but
Alan was trying to get you out of Pittsburgh for years.
He was. He definitely was. So he moved to Japan. It was cool. Then he moved to Memphis, and he said, "This shit is slow as fuck. I can't stand it."
Well, he got the opposite effect. He moved to a place that he's been outgrown before he had ever had a chance to get there.
Okay.
But he wouldn't have known that had he gone. And I'm pretty sure, I know he went there for the job. He didn't go there because he had a desire.
No, he went there definitely for the job.
Yeah, he didn't go there because I want to see what it's like in Memphis.
And then I visited them. I visited Memphis to do his wedding as the best man, and the shit was fucking annoying.
Okay, so then that means you just gotta try out a couple places till you figure out what place is progressive and what place you like. Just like you're gonna say, try out some of these new cool pieces of technology that's gonna progress us. You know, whatever you're gonna tell that senior millennial that we're telling you the same thing. But
you want to go place where you can instantly identify everything, or do you want to go someplace where you want to experience something fresh?
I want to experience. All right. So is it bad? I want both. I want to experience something fresh and that I identify with.
That's being double-minded. You'll get nowhere with like that.
Oh my God, you're giving me no answer here. It's not a solution, Shane. It's not a solution. Because if I end up, all right, so for real, when I went to Memphis, because that's where he lives at, I went to Memphis and I said, hey, I want to play music here, but I never want to live here.
Right.
God damn, like, what do you do with that? I would love to play music there.
You find a place that you would like to, that you would feel comfortable at.
Now, I know all the Tennessee is not backwards like that. I know that for a fact because a racing buddy of mine lives in Tennessee, and he's got a turbo TC that's supposed to make 640 horsepower, plus a black FRS like mine, and he's got a second TC that he's building for his kids. He's got a nice house where he's got a PS4 network where all the TVs and network to play only Gran Turismo.
Okay.
So, and he works in internet security. So that shows you right there, not every place is just the same. You just got to get out and be receptive to something different. That's where it starts. Don't try to size up everything the moment you see it. Just take it in, try to do something.
All right. So this is the 30s perspective. It's like 1:12 in the morning, and I gotta work in the morning. So Shane,
So do all of us.
Shane, it was so nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Likewise. Now you're on Facebook. You got or anything else?
Yes. You see my name here?
Uh-huh.
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
She's a singer. She's a singer in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, she's a singer in the world. She's been beyond Pittsburgh. But
I enjoyed Pittsburgh for my first 2 years I was there. After that, it got kind of frustrating.
Okay, we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah,
We're not gonna get it.
Brandon, we got B Mike over here. And I'm Sherelle Unique, and this is the 30s perspective. And I'm turning this camera off and going to bed.
Turn it off. Me too. I'm going to bed too. I'm going to go to bed.
I'm out of here.